Chicago Sports Assembly.
الكثير لإسبانيول ضاعت الكرة من جانب إسبانيول تمريرة خابئة صدمت في الدفاع رونالدو كريستيانو على اليمين رونالدو مر رونالدو عدى بمهارة يا عيني يا كريستيانو جميلة من رونالدو هذا كله والكل يقول أن ليس في مستواه هذا الهدف عدى من الأول رونالدو مر جميلة من رونالدو جميلة من كريستيانو
ja cap a la dreta per Xavi, assistència de Xavi més cap a la dreta per Messi, immens Messi, encara 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 Messi, gol, 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 increïble, increïble.
Good afternoon to our listeners. This is coming from World's Radio 89.3 FM, and when you hear that sound, you know that it is Wales Weekend Total Sports. And how you guys feeling this wonderful afternoon? And you know it's been an action-packed week from the Europa Conference League final, and you'll be seeing Chelsea all buzzed. And today is going to be the Champions League final, that one that is going to be for the big boys. And then we'll be talking about the the National Sports Festival, that one that happened in Ogun State. That one we had the grand finale that happened yesterday. So many things to talk about in the world of sports today. And also the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they'll be taking on Jamaica in the Unity Cup final. I won't be alone this wonderful afternoon, and I hope you guys will stick with us as we'll be bringing the news in the world of sports to everyone, to your hearings. I'm not only in the studio this afternoon, I'm here with a couple of guys. I mean, I've missed a whole lot of faces today. I don't know. It's been a while I saw these faces. And I'm not alone in the studio this afternoon. I have Okpe. Okpe is in the building this wonderful afternoon. I have Sporting Rem. If you have seen me, I've heard Sporting Rem. You know Sporting Rem. We know Ala Madrid in that side. I know say he go down the boss. Say we don't worry, we don't carry on. Don't worry. And also ID Bobo self. He's also here this wonderful afternoon. And I'll be bringing everybody to the microphone one by one. I'll start with Okpe. Okpe, how are you doing this wonderful afternoon?
Mo wà dáadáa de kí gbogbo àwọn tó ń gbọ́ káàkiri àgbàláyé káàbọ̀ sí ìkànnì West Radio ìkànnì kankan kó máa gbé lórí ètò West Weekend Total Sports. Tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ òun yẹn ti mẹ́ni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀mí òdòlá ló ń kí yín káàbọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ID ṣe máa ń sọ bí akínwìlẹ̀ má lò lámbà ID torí àwọn gángan ti wà níbà yìí torí copyright so ẹ continue. Tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ òun yẹn ti mẹ́ni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ a máa gbé yín débẹ̀ nígbàgbé síbẹ̀ máa fi kún pé ẹ̀yin náà má ṣe kíni ẹ̀yin náà má sùn síbẹ̀ ẹ máa bá wa ká lọ.
Okay, Sporting Rem, how are you doing this wonderful afternoon?
Good afternoon to our listeners at home. My name is Abdul Fattah Omoyebisi. It's good to be with you here in West Radio 89.3 FM here in Oluyole, Ibadan. To be precise, it's a weekend program, Total Weekend Sport at West Radio 89.3 FM. Sporting Rem, still greetings.
Okay, ID Bobo tó mọ nǹkan tá a nídìí yẹn. Báwo lọ́dọ̀ yín?
Dáadáa ni ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ kànga gbọ́nmàgbẹ́ tábà ti rẹ̀ ní pé ọjọ́ méjì ẹ̀kọ́ àti làǹkìrà ẹni ẹ tún káàbọ̀ sórí West Radio 9.3 FM lórí weekend Toto Sport àtúndé náà nìyẹn àwọn àtúgbò yín débẹ̀ àwọn nígbàgbé yín síbẹ̀ Ìdòwú Ọlábọ̀dé lórúkọ tèmi ID Bobo
100
Up my
United for life.
Okay, Moku start from here. We'll start from home, and this one is going to we are going to start from the Super Falcons. Remember the Super Falcons, they were meant to play a friendly this afternoon against Cameroon, but unfortunately that friendly has been shifted till Monday, and this is because the Cameroon national team, the female team, and they didn't come. Like they didn't arrive on time because of logistics issue, and now we have seen the match shifted to Monday, and that match is not going to come up again at Ikene, the Remo Star Stadium at Ikene. It's going to come up at Abeokuta. This friendly, we have been actually looking at it that we are meant to have a friendly for the Super Falcons, and we saw the Super Falcons arrive a much more earlier. Like the likes of the Super Falcons team, they came much more earlier. We saw the likes of Rashidat Ajibade, even the likes of Bolaji, the striker of Remo Stars ladies. We saw them. Like we are anticipating this kind of friendly, and now we are seeing them to just actually shift it to Monday because of the Cameroon national team. They were not on ground because of logistics issue. What would you say is a problem? Is it a problem, or we're just being casual of this friendly? Sporting Rem, let me start from you.
It's not casual, and at the same time, it's not yet a problem to me because it allows them to shift the friendly match back to Monday. To me, it might be a problem that Cameroon national team they are coming in late to Nigeria, to be precise, probably yesterday night or early this morning. But that as may be, I am seeing that as a situation for the Super Falcons coach
Justin Madugu
to see that opportunity in blending the home base and the foreign base, the foreign players of the Super Falcons together. It gives them an opportunity to gel with each other, to understand the rhythm of each other. But the issue there is we expect this friendly match to have a two-phase. The one of today, and then by June on Tuesday. But here we are now. They'll be playing it on Monday. Is it that the Monday will be the one that we
it's just going to now? It's just going to be a one-leg match.
No, it shouldn't be. That is where I'm having issue with. It should be Monday and probably maybe by Thursday or Friday, so that it will allow them to have the first match as an understudy. Then whatever they have seen to correct, then they will execute it by Thursday or Friday.
Okay, ID. Kí lẹ fẹ́ rí sọ sí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí? Super Falcons ó yẹ kó gba ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ méjì kojú Cameroon, bó ṣùgbọ́n nísìnyí ó ti di ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ẹyọ kan.
Tí a bá wo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn, pàápàá jùlọ ní ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ tá a wà yìí, ó ṣe ní láàánú pé irú ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ torí ní 30 fixed nípa ọjọ́ bẹ̀lẹ̀ máa gbà. Ó yẹ kẹ́ tètè wá gbogbo nǹkan tí ó sì jẹ́ kẹ́ gbá ní ọjọ́ yẹn. Nígbà tí wọ́n máa sọ ọ́n sí wọ́n ní logistics yẹn sì lélẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló wà lábẹ́ logistics tí wọ́n sọ kókó ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tí àwọn fi pẹ́ táwọn fi dé. Bóyá káwọn kọ́ máa ba ojú orílẹ̀-èdè jẹ́ ẹ ṣáàjà lọ ni, kì í ṣe pé dandan ni ká lọ gba tó wọ́n sọ wọ́n ní ọlọ́ọ̀rẹ́ sọ̀rẹ́ ni. And then àwọn bàbá Màdúgù lélẹ̀ àwọn ti kó àwọn jọ sílẹ̀, wọ́n ti train ahead of that day. Wọn ò wá mọ́ àkọ́kọ́ ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì ó kàn ó tẹ̀ ọkọ̀ bá àwọn arábìnrin yẹn náà pé wọ́n ti prepare bí ọmọ tó fẹ́ lọ ṣe ìdánwò ni, ó ti ka ìwé ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ ti fẹ́ bọ́, ẹ wá sọ fún pé kò ní ṣe pépà yẹn mọ́lẹ̀ ni o, pépà yẹn di ọjọ́ Monday o, bó tó ti kà lọ́jọ́ yẹn síbẹ̀ ó ti waste. Bó ṣe rí lára àwọn player nìyẹn tó pé wọ́n ti gbìyànjú, wọ́n ti ṣe ìgbáradì sílẹ̀ yìí pé wọ́n dé báyìí káwọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gba ayò ni, wọ́n ní wọ́n tún ní gba mọ́ńbẹ̀ lórí iṣẹ́ tó ti train tí wọ́n ti mọ pápá yẹn tí wọ́n ti train níbẹ̀ ìyẹn ní Ìkẹ́nẹ́ ní Remo Stars Stadium, wọ́n tún ní gbá ń bẹ̀ mọ́. Abẹ́òkúta ni wọ́n tún gbé wọn lọ, another soil entirely. Wọ́n tún lọ máa tún train me again, and then wọ́n wá tún sọ di oní ẹsẹ̀ kan dípò ẹsẹ̀ méjì. Mo tá ti mọ̀ ìgbóyà pé bóyá láti Cameroon yẹn gan wọ́n kọ̀ tí wọ́n wá láti wá gbá ni, tó pé ó bá pé normal wọ́n pẹ́ bó ṣe yẹ kí wọ́n pẹ́ lóòótọ́, tí ṣe pé bóyá nípa owó tàbí nǹkan kan ni, kò yẹ kó wá tún jẹ́ pé ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ kan ló máa tún jẹ́. Ó yẹ kó lọ gbá ẹsẹ̀ kejì, ṣùgbọ́n ìgbà tó ti di báyìí sí wọ́n ti di káṣà kọ̀ gbá tó pé friendly ni nǹkan tẹ́mi rí sí ni.
Okay, before I go to Okpe for that side, and this one dey wetin dey ground like this, pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó wà lẹ́sìn yìí, WAFCON ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní July. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ti sọ tá a ṣe máa kojú ara wa ní WAFCON. Nigeria àti Tunisia, gbogbo match tí àwọn Super Falcons máa gbá, gbogbo ẹ̀ náà máa gbá ní Casablanca. So Okpe, with this WAFCON that is coming in July, and with this preparation that is just looking a little bit shaky, what do you actually think is going to be the fate of Super Falcons? Although they are the champions, 9 times champions of WAFCON, and we know how they always go there to go and perform. But then, don't you think that we are already having nations that are already challenging at this particular time? No nation is really small.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think there's always been a code that says failures to prepare are preparing to fail. I think looking at the Super Falcons of Nigeria, the female national team, they have not been preparing in recent months, because looking at the last time they played a major tournament, since then they are here to play a friendly game. Ìgbà tí wọ́n gbá major tournament last, ìgbà yẹn wọn ò tí gba friendly matches kankan. Ẹni wọ́n á tún wá fẹ́ gba friendly match kan sí nǹkan tẹ́ pé expect tó tún wá padà wá ṣẹlẹ̀. So mo feel pé tábà lọ padà WAFCON tó fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn, Women African Cup of Nations tó fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní orílẹ̀-èdè Morocco. Ẹ wo inú group tàwa àti North African teams country méjì, a ní Algeria, a ní Tunisia, àwọn Botswana náà. So àwọn mẹ́rin tàjọ wà nínú group yẹn, ó máa difficult fún Super Falcons láti lè jáde nínú group yẹn. Fine, òótọ́ nípa lè ní materials sílẹ̀. Super Eagles náà ní materials nígbà tí wọ́n lọ sí AFCON, wọ́n final mú wọn gbá orílẹ̀-èdè àbíkò sójà wọn tán mọ́. Àmọ́ ẹ wo bí tí Super Falcons, ẹ wo bí tí wọ́n wá sí, wọ́n ti ń ṣe ìgbáradì mọ́ pé wọ́n ti ṣe ìgbáradì ẹ̀kú dáa lóòótọ́. Àmọ́ láti gbà tá a ti gbá mega tournament, tá a ti gbá kan, tá a ti lọ sí ife àgbáyé ní World Cup ní Australia àti New Zealand, ẹ sọ how many friendly matches òun láti gbá láti gbà yẹn. ẹ wo nǹkan tó ń ṣe fún Super Eagles nísìn. Super Eagles wọ́n gbá tournament kankan lọ tó wà ní tó wọ́n gbá ní pápá àṣírí JTech Community Stadium, ìyẹn pápá àṣírí Brentford. Ìyẹn sì preparation fún AFCON tó ń bọ̀ ní ọdún tó ń bọ̀, nítorí olùkọ́ni tó bá mọ̀ nǹkan tó ṣe, òun náà gbọ́dọ̀ lọ máa wá àwọn friendly match, top tier friendly match. Tẹ́ wá fẹ́ gbá friendly match kì í ṣe irú Cameroon, mi ò disrespect Cameroon, àmọ́ ibi tí Cameroon wà nípa àwọn best female football teams ìyẹn ní orílẹ̀-èdè Africa, wọn ò ṣe dáadáa tó. Tẹ́ wá fẹ́ play friendly match láti lè máa prepare fún WAFCON, ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa àwọn bíi Morocco sí Bafana tó orílẹ̀-èdè South Africa, àwọn yẹn náà ò kéré. Ẹ lọ play Algeria, àwọn North African teams, ẹ mú South African teams kọ̀ọ̀kan mọ́, ẹ mú Ghana, fine, Ghana wọ́n lè máa ṣe dáadáa lọ́wọ́, àtọkùnrin àtobìn wọ́n lè máa ṣe dáadáa lọ́wọ́. Àmọ́ ẹ lọ máa mú àwọn countries tẹ́ pé ẹ wo group tẹ́ wá sí, Algeria wà ń bẹ, Tunisia wà ń bẹ, Botswana wà ń bẹ. Ó máa difficult fún orílẹ̀-èdè fún Super Falcons tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nigeria. Àmọ́ nevertheless mo ká ṣe máa jáde ń bẹ, but ó máa wà very difficult fún wa.
Even they can go for the blend of the two, the north and the south.
The north and south, because if you actually look at it, we are playing mostly North African countries. 6th of July, Nigeria against Tunisia. That's going to be in Casablanca. Then we are going to play Botswana. That's also going to be in Casablanca. And then Algeria again. 2 North African countries. And we are going to call Botswana at least a East African country at that. So now we are playing against a West African country. I feel like that's preparation in my side.
That's the reason why I said the blend of the two, the north and the south. We get it from the east. If we can, like Kenya, probably
let's say Libya too.
Libya might not.
Libya might not.
I understand because
I feel we could have maybe taking something like maybe
like Mali,
like Morocco.
We can play Mali too.
We can play Mali, but what I'm saying with Mali is that their female league and female football is not that strong to that of Ghana, to that of Senegal.
Yes,
and
Senegal.
then Guinea. If we can get Guinea, Botswana, which is from northeast, Guinea from central, probably west. The combination of the two can still give us the rhythm and the expectation of the North Africans.
Okay, ID.
Èmi tún wo kíní kan báyìí pé irú South Africa yẹn wọ́n máa ń dúró lé Super Falcons lọ́rùn dáadáa. Wọ́n ti kọ́kọ́ gba irú South Africa yẹn as friendly match.
ID, the reason why I will not support the idea of having South Africa is that they are going for that tournament.
Yeah.
It might be risky for us exposing ourselves tactically
to
the South
Africans.
understand.
Yeah. But wọ́n bá gbá irú yẹn as friendly, wọ́n á mọ ibi tí àwọn kù sí. Tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ gbá friendly match, ẹ play ẹni tó dáa jù yín lọ, ẹ sì mọ ibi tí tíìmù yín kù sí. Wọ́n bá play South Africa tún lè lọ sí north yẹn náà, ẹ tún lọ mú kan náà bá bíi Morocco, Tunisia. Ṣùgbọ́n kí wọ́n máa play àwọn tí wọ́n dáa jù wọ́n lọ. Àwọn tí Super Falcons ẹ̀yin dáa jù àwọn yẹn lọ. Tẹ́ bá fún àwọn yẹn mẹ́rin 5-6, ẹ ò bóyá ẹ ti dé tán ni. Tọ́ wá dé tournament wọn lọ máa nà yín. But tẹ́ bá kọ́ play àwọn tó dáa jù yín lọ tẹ́yìn náà mọ̀. Tẹ́ bá play tó bá nà yín, ẹ mọ̀ bí tí iṣẹ́ yẹn tún kù sí láti ṣe.
Àmọ́ ṣe tí wọ́n fẹ́ play àwọn tó bá dáa jù wọn lọ náà, wọn gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa tún náà tó jẹ́ pé mentality yẹn tún máa wà ń bẹ̀ pé country tẹ́ pàṣẹ kò sí tó wọ́n padà pàdé ní knockout àwọn tó ẹgbọ́n ti padà ná Super Falcons máa wọ̀ pé akuti náà wọn so àti mọ weakness wọn
ibi tí ṣe kóòtù ti wọlé
so
ni
àti mọ weakness wa ti mọ strong point gbogbo olùkọ́ni kọ́ ló gbọ́n tactically so ìyẹn mi ò mọ bí àjọ sin Madugu torí fine kò pẹ́ lágbà tí olùkọ́ni wa tẹ́lẹ̀ kí lórúkọ Randy Wadrum tó ti fi ṣẹ́yìn sílẹ̀ kò ní bí wọ́n torí family issues àti personal issues yẹn Justin Madugu how many matches ló ti kó sódì ìyẹn tó bá sọ pé Super Falcons kò tí ì tó 10 matches so ṣé olùkọ́ni bá sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ wá expose strength tẹ́ pé wá wọlé tí mo Super Falcons mọ́ so mo fara mọ́ nǹkan tí sporting rẹ̀ mú sọ àmọ́ mo fara mọ́ nǹkan tí ID náà sọ àmọ́ mo rí pé Cameroon yìí náà
where you stand
I stand for
Super Falcons.
But mind you, before you stand, Itayo, the time lag and the month that we have towards the normal waffle
tournament is by June.
Is by July. We only have probably
A
3
month.
weeks.
3 weeks. Let's
Not
say
even-
not even
not
a month.
even a
It's
month. 3
July 6th.
weeks.
July 6th. We'll start.
Yeah,
We'll play our
about
first
3
game.
weeks.
Okay. Not to actually dwell on that. There's a whole lot to talk about this week, and our listeners should not forget we're live on Facebook. That one is as Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. A couple of messages there. Jola Shuenri, this is your message. Well, I'll just take a little bit. Good afternoon, watching you from our Makinde up and grateful. Yes, today is the last day in this month. Yes, thank God for that. Tomorrow we'll start a new a new month for that side. We go enter the the 6 months we remain half of the year for that side. I need to talk say my high points this week about the concluded season in the top 5 Europe League. Also, my high points this week is the biggest match happening in the world. That one we'll still talk about Inter Milan against PSG. Okay, my low point this week is the National Sport Festival and the ongoing Unity Cup. I'm not really pleased with. Okay, we go reach their team Oyo. Let's quickly enter the Unity Cup going on. One match is going on, the third place match between Trinidad and Tobago against Ghana. Ghana is winning that encounter by 3-0 in that side. And Trinidad and Tobago, they're not really nothing to discuss about that. Okay, let's go to the match that will happen later in the evening by 5 p.m. Jamaica against Nigeria. If you watch the game, the Unity Cup, you would see how would you describe it?
It's just an opportunity for the home base Eagles to showcase their talent, in the sense that even Chico Chill accepts that he underrates those boys that he integrates into the normal Super Eagles team against Ghana. That the kind of exposure he's trying to take them through when they're having their training session, is not really they don't really accept that knowledge from him. But going to the normal field of play against Ghana, the SCB that they perform below above more than his own expectation. So he's giving them a kudos. But they should not let their gun let down themselves against the Jamaicans. They might not really understand the rhythm of the Jamaicans. Playing against Ghana is another ball entirely.
Yeah.
The rivalry issue against each other will definitely brings out the best of the best from the Super Eagles. But playing against the Jamaicans, they should see it as a real opportunity for them to nail their stamp for the Super Eagles coach, in order for him to know that these are the boys I can take to the Nations Cup.
Okay, ìbéèrè tí mo fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ID, ṣé ó ti tó gbà tó yẹ kí àwọn tó ń gbá bọ̀ nínú league wa kó máa pè wọ́n sí Super Eagles?
ó ti yẹ kí wọ́n ti máa pè wọ́n ti pẹ́. ṣe rí àkọ́kọ́ náà tó bá sọ pé Unity Cup tí wọ́n ń play ní
Brentford
yẹn
ní London,
pé wọ́n pe àwọn home base Eagles ó dáa, ṣùgbọ́n èmi fẹ́ ká fojú ẹ̀gbẹ́ ìwòran àwọn players tí wọ́n ń play tí wọ́n ṣe parí league, mélòó nù wọn ni coach àpèpè wá gba Unity Cup tó máa dá lóhùn, tó pé wọ́n ṣe play league wọn tán ni. Ó yẹ kí wọ́n lọ sinmi, ẹ wá tún pè wọ́n pé ẹ wá gba Unity Cup, mélòó nínú àwọn players yẹn ló máa dá olùkọ́ni lóhùn?
Foreign player or local
foreign players.
Okay.
Wọ́n máa fún un ní excuse pé ó ṣàpá àwọn ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gba ilé ìtàn ni ó ti rẹwà òun ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń bọ̀ láti injury ni, ṣébi tó sì mọ̀ pé wọ́n wá ibi tó máa dé sí ni, ṣáde wọ́n wá Lookman tó pé bó ṣe máa kó ní Atalanta ló wà lórí ẹ̀, ṣé ìtótẹ́lì Leicester City lọ sí relegation ló ẹ fẹ́ gbà Fisayo Délé Bashiru ó wà ń bẹ̀, mo kàn fi ń ṣe àkàwé ọ̀rọ̀ ni bó ṣe ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn player lẹ́ máa pè tí wọ́n dáhùn, wọ́n rò pé opportunity lélẹ̀ láti tún lo àwọn home base wọ́n fi pè wọ́n wọlé, kì í ṣe bóyá ìfẹ́ inú wọn gangan láti pe àwọn home base yẹn wá ni. Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́, ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni wípé tí àwọn home base bá play tán sí tí wọ́n parí competition tó jẹ́ gbé competition Super Eagles máa play mélòó làwọn base yẹn tó máa include síbẹ̀ tó pa sí mọ̀ pé ní Nàìjíríà bá ṣe wà yín sí ó ṣeé ṣe pé ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn player tí ó gbá unity tí wọ́n play ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn player tí wọ́n tún máa wá pè wá pé as a Super Falcons Super Eagles nǹkan báyìí àwọn player bá la fẹ́ kó o pè kó o lò kó wá play wá àwọn ọmọ tó wá lọ gbá ilé nǹkan lóòótọ́ wọ́n expose àwọn ọmọ yẹn sí nǹkan tó dáa ṣùgbọ́n mélòó nínú wọn wọ́n máa wá tún pè wọlé wá yàtọ̀ sí tí wọ́n gbá ní Brentford mélòó nínú wọn máa pè wọlé wá tó wá tó pé bíi 2 3 4 5 màá tó sọ wípé ìtí wọ́n ń gbà yìí ṣèso re nígbà tó bá dìgbà yẹn tó pé lọ́pọ̀ gbà nísìnyí wọ́n ń gbà ń sìn àárín àwọn ọmọ yẹn tó bá di pé super wọ́n lọ sí AFCON
major tournament
tàbá rí bóyá 4 5 wà nínú àwọn ọmọ yẹn tí wọ́n pè tí wọ́n sì lò látọmọ ẹ pé ìtí wọ́n play ní Brentford ó ṣèso re o wọ́n kọ̀ pé wọ́n sí àmọ́yé ìgbà tí òjò Ọlọ́run lékè tó fi wà ní bench ló máa wà tí ogun tó lábẹ́ fi tán wọ́n ṣàpè ni ṣùgbọ́n kò play tó àwọn ọmọ ìsìn àwọn ọmọ yìí náà ti lọ play nsìn but tó bá di major tournament wọ́n pè wọ́n àkọ́kọ́ ṣé wọ́n máa lò wọ́n ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì nǹkan tèmi kọ́ rí sí àárín yẹn ni.
Okay, Okpe, my own question to you. My own question to you. We like me and you are both familiar with the MPFL terrain. Yes. Anas Yusuf.
ṣẹ́ẹ̀rì ẹ̀wọ̀n kan mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ Síkírù Alimi mo ti wà Anas Yusuf àti tó bí 1,000 times ìyẹn lórí afẹ́fẹ́.
fáńsẹ̀ tẹ̀ Síkírù Alimi.
èmi àti yín kọ́ ṣe Anas Yusuf òun ló parí gẹ́gẹ́ bí high goal scorer ní MPFL ẹni òun ló parí gẹ́gẹ́ bí Anas Yusuf tó ń play fún Nasarawa United òun ló parí gẹ́gẹ́ bí high goal scorer fún ìyẹn nínú league Nigeria MPFL wọ́n wá mú Síkírù Alimi ẹni tó ní 6 goals tó ní 2 assists throughout the MPFL season throughout 38 matches ẹ wá mú ahead ẹni tó ní 18 goals ṣé mo pé 18 goals gan tá a bá dá sí méjì that's 9 goals Síkírù Alimi ò score ìlàjì goal tí Anas Yusuf tí ó mì fún Nasarawa United dìdẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n struggle pẹ̀lú irrigation ní àsìkò gbàgbọ́n ẹ wá wá dúró goal tí Alimi ẹ wá yọ goal Anas Yusuf yẹn ẹ yọ kúrò nínú goal tí Nasarawa United táwọn gan mì nínú MPFL ẹ wá wo ohun tó ṣẹ́kù ṣé Nasarawa ṣe wọ̀n ní relegate ìyẹn fine ẹ wá wo Síkírù Alimi sìn Síkírù Alimi score 6 goals with or without Síkírù Alimi Remo Stars wọ́n máa gba league torí wọ́n ti ń ṣe number 2 ọjọ́ wọn náà ti pẹ́ ní sábò ẹ wá wo Síkírù Alimi sìn òun ni wọ́n mo lè sọ pé influence olùkọ́ni ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ Daniel Ogunmọdede tó jẹ́ assistant coach Erisi Kuchim ìyẹn fún Super Eagles tó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ni pé olùkọ́ni ó ti mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọ tèmi lè sìn nínú gbogbo àwọn players wọ́n yìn invite láti MPF ẹnìkan ṣoṣo tí mi ò agree invitation yẹn ti jẹ́ pé òní Síkírù Alimi ẹ wo Ismail Sodiq nsìn ó ti play close to 100 matches ní MPF ó sì ní over 25 assists ìyẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbọ́wẹ́yìn tó ń gba látọwọ́ tún ìyẹn right back.
tó lè fún Ọláìnà ní run off.
in fact ṣẹ́ẹ̀rì Ọláìnà gan sìn ṣẹ́ẹ̀rì tí wọ́n bá tún fẹ́ mú Ismail Sodiq ọmọ tó yẹ káàtì wàlíù ẹ̀jọ́ tó yẹ ìyẹn tó jẹ́ balógun ikọ̀ ti Kogi City òun ló finish gẹ́gẹ́ bí best ẹ̀yẹn tó ní assist jù ìyẹn ní MPFL òun náà ní bí a náà bí 10 assists ìyẹn nínú MPFL nínú ìta wáyé sí Ismail Sodiq àti wàlíù ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó yẹ wọ́n lè fún Ọláìnà wọ́n lè fún ní pressure gan torí pé àwọn akùnrin wọn mọ bọ́ọ̀lù gbá adẹ́dẹ́ pé ìyẹn tán bá àláò gẹ́gẹ́ bí àìdí ṣe sọ so àmọ́ ẹ wá wo Ismail Sodiq kẹ́ńsìn against Ghana ó deliver ó jábọ̀ ọ̀pá ó rẹ̀ padà di assist ìyẹn fún Siri Desas ẹ wá wo Síkírù Alimi sìn kí ni impact ẹni gẹ́ tí ó play bí i 50 minutes kan ẹ sọ impact sí kékeré mo ti Síkírù Alimi àmọ́ mo wo bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń ṣàyàn sí Super Eagles bí mi ò lè sọ pé nepotism mo dẹ̀ tún lè pè nepotism sorú kan báyìí kò yẹ ká máa rí nínú MPFL fine ẹ̀ tó wá mi 18 goals nísìn ìyẹn Anas Yusuf tí ẹ̀ wá invite Síkírù Alimi sìn láti bí last 3 seasons Chijioke Mbama tó ń play fún Enyimba òun ló parí fún top scorer ìyẹn ní last season Chukwuemeka Obioma tó ń play fún Enyimba ìyẹn 3 seasons ago wọ́n invite àwọn
wait before you continue
how old is Anas Yusuf?
Okay, yeah, okay. I see the question.
You get another wait. Let me.
How old is Anas Yusuf?
How old is Alimi?
Okay,
how old is Alimi?
I know where I'm going.
Anas Yusuf, I think he's 22 or 23 years.
Invited, see, dream team.
Dream team. No, there's still. Hold on. There's still another case I want to make, and the case I want to make is going to be in the goalkeeping department. The goalkeeping department.
I'm not even expecting Nwabali.
If we look at the pecking order of the goalkeeping department, the person with the most clean sheets in the Nigeria Premier Football League is coming from Obasa. Is from Benin Republic. So definitely he's not a Nigerian at that side. Yeah. Now we have 2 goalkeepers that have if they put them like for like, they are qualified to be in that squad. Enugu Rangers goalkeeper, and
Adelere
Mustafa Lawal
of
Shooting Stars. If you look at and Shooting Stars, they didn't do well. So I actually got an hint. Mustafa Lawal was meant to be called up. 9 minutes. They took him away.
Why?
PR.
Why?
Not because of PR. There's
There are some things that we shouldn't.
there are some things I wouldn't have.
For me, I'm not expecting Nwabali in that tournament. There is this Ojo Olorinleke. He might not be in Nigeria anymore,
Yes.
but
Amas Obasogi is also there.
they should give these boys a sense of belonging. This is not a major tournament. Why in Nwabali?
That's actually like I'm not like, okay, why did you take away this name at a 9 minutes to bring in Maduka Okoye that obviously he is still going to be part of the squad, maybe now, maybe later. So why did you take out his name? And you cannot actually take Enugu Rangers have 3 players. They have Isaac Xavier, Ifeanyi Oyebuchi there. And look at it. Any goalkeeper, I can actually say it. This is a goalkeeper that is meant to be in this tournament, and you are not taking him. And there's a certain security limit too in that department.
Though there is a certain perspective that I used to look at the selection of the Super Eagles when it comes to representing Nigeria, which I used to refer to as federal character. We should be mindful of that.
Yes, there's federal character.
So.
Is the federal character complete? That's another place. Is the federal character complete?
Don't let me talk, please.
Okay, let's move away from that. The Unity Cup will be played by 5 p.m. and that's going to be the final between Jamaica and Nigeria. That one's by 5 p.m. A whole lot of news to talk about, but let's go straight before we leave our home soil to delve in. Let's talk about the Gateway Games, the National Sports Festival, Delta State again for the 5th time.
As expected.
Yes, Delta State.
Now, where I am trying to go is these athletes, where are they going? I don't know where they are going.
They are going to back their. They are going back to their.
Where are they going? Now, when I say where are they going, I don't understand. We will always have Delta States do very well, and when it's time for us to go into major tournaments, all African games, we have about almost if you look at the sports that were a total of 2,139 medals was shared. A total, like if we look at it for a total that they shared 2,139 medals that was shared. And now I will ask myself, where are all these athletes? Where did they go after this tournament? Because after this tournament, if it's time for us to go to Olympics, all African games, that's when we will be coming out to hear that, oh, we don't have a athletes for this, we don't have a athletes for that, we don't have it, and we'll see teams always coming out. Handball, volleyball, we always have this. So where are these athletes going?
Let's refer to that as then. Then we have Ministry of Sports, but now we have National Sports Commission. So that was why I said let's refer to it as then. Subsequently, now we'll be having probably all African games. Olympics.
The Olympics.
Maybe World Athletics.
World Athletics that they lock the gates.
No. Let's try. You don't know where. I said then. But now we're having National Sports Commission.
Sorry, please.
Now they've let us understand that from Delta State we can have multiple of athletics that that
various sports
we can use to represent Nigeria when it comes to international competitions. Now, if they fail to give us that, we are going to not just assume, we are going to know that National Sports Commission is not different from Ministry of Sports. You understand what I'm trying to say? So don't let us finalize this discussion for now.
Don't let us finalize. ID.
nǹkan tẹ́mi kọ́ sí ni pé Olympic tá a ṣe lọ tí mínísítà àgbà yẹn John Enno sọ wípé àwọn ti mọ ibi tí àwọn ti ṣe àṣìṣe pé àwọn ò mójútó bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá rántí gbà ẹ̀ mo sọ mọ́ wípé nǹkan tí Nàìjíríà fẹ́ gbọ́ ni wọ́n ń sọ nígbà yẹn ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tó yá ni wọ́n tú ìgbìmọ̀ wọn ká pé kí wọ́n máa lọ sílé ẹ wá wọ́n sìn báyìí láti ìgbà yẹn sìn lóòótọ́ bóyá wọ́n ti pààrọ̀ orúkọ wọ́n ti pe àwọn míì wọlé àti ìgbọ́n kan pé nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe lélẹ́yìí fún next Olympic or African Games míì tó ń bọ̀ àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n wá lọ ṣe sports festival ní Ogun State nísìnyí báyìí wọ́n wo akitiyan àwọn ọmọ yẹn pé àwọn náà ń gbìyànjú ẹ gbọ́ pé àwọn state kan sọ pé 10,000 20,000 wọ́n wá sọ pé kì í ṣe owó tá a fẹ́ fún wọn nìyẹn bọ̀kọ́ kàn máa fi ìyẹn sápò ná ọmọ tó ṣe front job tó ṣe wàhálà tó ju nǹkan 10,000 20,000 lẹ́yìn yẹn nǹkan tá a máa gbọ́ mọ́ ni wọ́n ti fún àwọn ọmọ yẹn ànígbọ̀n kankan mọ́ tó ti wá dọ̀rọ̀ Olympic àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ti reserve yálà lókè òkun àwọn bí káwọn yẹn wọ́n lọ kó jáde àwọn ọmọ tó jẹ́ raw talent tí wọ́n showcase talent wọn ní Ogun State
tó wọ River-Niger
jà àníra àwọn yẹn mọ́ tó pé àwọn yẹn ti gba 10,000 20,000 tí wọ́n fún wọn pé ẹ ṣáà kọ́ fi yẹn sápò mọ́ ná ànígbọ̀n kan mọ́ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ irú àwọn kan báyìí kò yẹ kó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ atọ́kùn sọ pé níbo ni àwọn ọmọ yẹn máa wà tó bá dìgbà yẹn àwọn náà wà Nàìjíríà àwọn kan ní pé wọn náà ni àwọn ọmọ mi náà wọ́n lọ pè wá pé èyàn tí wàá ṣe lè fún wa.
Okay, Bukola Olokade is hearing what you are saying. Though he might not be the one hearing it, but ó ní àwọn tó ń gbọ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ má bójú wa jẹ́ o.
Come on, Bojinje.
Ọlọ́run.
Okay, let's talk about Team Oyo. Team Oyo actually had a total of 126 medals. And if you look at where they rank in the total of medals they had, like if you look at the table, they were they finished 7th.
Not 6.
No, it is number 6 actually.
7th.
It should be 6.
Number 6 in it. It don't even see 7 in it. Tabanika went to Paris number 7 in Lagos State.
Yeah, they had more.
Lagos State
more
medals you Oyo State. More Oyo State need more good medals. You Lagos State. Okay, you good medals. Think about him. We not def man judge anywhere.
Good beer.
Why are we this in this country? Why?
That's all that they do now.
No,
Even in the Olympics.
Let's get it right.
Okay.
That is the normal thing. Okpa is telling us.
Yeah.
They should have named that as 6-6, or probably put Oyo State at number 6. Then you let people understand that because Oyo State is having more gold.
It is just a
not
medal.
The overall.
Exactly.
We don't used to look at the overall. You look at the gold.
Golds.
But here we are now. They place Lagos State ahead of Oyo State. That is the issue I'm saying. Why are we this in this country? We begin to the officials will try to convince the fans, the listeners, the onwatchers and the onlookers. But here we are, gold is being considered more than the overall. Yeah. And Oyo State is having more gold than Lagos State.
But what would you rank the performance of Oyo State?
Well, in fairness, they never come out to tell us these are the preparation they're having. They didn't let the journalists, the fans knows that in so sport we have so candidates. They only tell us we have total candidates that we are taking down to the sportiva,
to the sports festival.
To the sports festival. But at the end of the day, we know the kind of representation they give to us. The first state to win a gold in that festival is Oyo State. So to me, I'll still rank them as being fair enough that they represent the state.
Tẹ́bárí ló bá jẹ́ lápò ọ̀dọ̀ tèmi o mo lè sọ pé a ṣe dáadáa àmọ́ kò tó ń tà ṣe torí mo rántí pé last sports festival a ṣe dáadáa jù báyìí lọ àmọ́ èdè tí mi ò ṣe ní ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe 5th àti 6th yẹn pé yàtọ̀ díẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ fine ẹyọ kan náà kọ ẹ lọ wo medal difference yẹn ẹ jẹ́ ká wò ó sí gbogbo medal sí Ọ̀yọ́ State gan tí a gádà kò tó gold medal ti Delta State gan torí pé àwa gbogbo medal tá a pa ó ní 126 Delta State no kẹ́ẹ̀k ó ní kíni
126
òun náà ní 126
gold.
So that means gold medal ti Delta State.
Don't get things wrong.
Mo ṣe ń bọ̀.
If we talk about personal individual exhibition, even individual presentation of the sport personality that went to that festive period tournament, Oyo State should be ranked highest.
Why?
Fine. I think in taekwondo or in judo or something of such. Scrabble.
If we are talking about where Oyo State had the most gold,
I'm not talking about gold.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the personality.
Individual
that Oyo State present.
Okay.
Like Catch Them Young.
I get.
We have the best representation. Lenje. So to me, we shouldn't look at the overall
I
performance.
wouldn't want to agree with that.
Even me, I wouldn't.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't want to agree.
I wouldn't.
I feel like even if you look at how it's set out, we had the most medal in weightlifting. Then weightlifting had 6 gold, 4 silver, 4 bronze. While athletics had 4 gold, 4 silver, 2 bronze, and chess had 4 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze again. So para-athletics have had 4 gold. So if you are looking at taekwondo, they had 3 gold. Para-powerlifting had 3 gold. Scrabble, we know Scrabble. Scrabble.
Now Scrabble. The image I'm trying to present is that if other states try to present such the way Oyo State presents, probably maybe Oyo State will win more gold than other states. But these are old cargoes that they keep refining for us. But Oyo State is giving us mi ò ní gba ti sporting rem so torí pé ìdí tí mi ṣe ní ìgbà ni pé àwọn tí wọ́n ṣe àwọn alákòóso kan ti national wọ́n sọ fún wa pé age range báyìí wọ́n la fẹ́. age range kan mò ń rí fásitì. no intention ni pé sport festival allows us to present. gbọ́ mi ẹni pé àwa la lo àwọn ọmọ léńjẹ jù so èmi fẹ́ bá yín translate ẹni pé intention ni pé so ìgbà tí mo sọ pé kí a lo ìfẹ́ bá wọn translate ẹ̀ pé ìgbà tí wọ́n ti ní pé
wetin you dey translate.
No, he talk say he said Oyo State we are the youngest exactly. We are the youngest athlete since there is no they didn't say okay pick yes. Maybe from 12 to age 28 right. So in tí mo try láti sọ ni pé tí wọ́n ti fún wa ní age range so a lè lo àwọn other states wọ́n lè lo opportunity advantage yẹn no ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin náà lọ wá gbàlagbà tó bá mọ̀ kẹ́sì ládùúgbò yìí so exactly ó ti ju léje lọ ẹ máa lọ wá. We call it sports festival. Ṣe it is just to develop catch them young. Àwọn mi lọ ẹ máa arúgbó tó wà ń bẹ̀ tẹ́ ní kí wọ́n fẹ́ catch wọn. ó náà mo sọ yóò okay state náà máa lọ wá ẹ tó bá mọ̀ ẹ tó lágbàlagbà tó bá lè ṣe sporting.
you sef dey play ball now.
ẹ̀yin kọ́ ìwé lẹ́yìn ṣe ìwé lẹ́yìn ṣe. Okay. At least Oki will actually go unbeaten enough.
Yeah, I feel those the Oki team actually did very well. Silver in the last National Sports Festival, gold this time.
Because we have a school in Oyo State that is majorly based on hockey tournaments.
You know the
Ejalo.
No worry. More good. Okay, let's get into the big one that is going to be happening tonight. And this one, we're talking about the big boys, the small boys that have played their own. Talking about the likes of Tottenham, the likes of Chelsea. I'm not trying to say they are big. I'm not trying to say everybody, but at least, yes, talking about the big boys. The big boys we're playing tonight, talking about the match between Paris Saint-Germain and Inter Milan. We will know that encounter is going to be a very big one. It's going to be played at the Allianz Arena, that one, the Bayern Munich Stadium. And there's one thing synonymous to this stadium. Anybody that plays in this stadium, anybody, when you play in this stadium for the first time, if you have not won it before, you win it. So I don't know. What's your take on that?
History máa padà repeat ààrẹ lálẹ́. Torí àwa ti team PSG lélẹ̀ kì í ṣe nítorí pé ọ̀tẹ̀ àbí nǹkan kan. PSG ṣé inú yóò dùn sílùú púpọ̀ táwọn arákùnrin gbà ní. Ọ̀rọ̀ máa tẹ̀lé ẹni tó kóbo.
Which one was that?
No. Àwọn òṣàjù bí kankan gbà lọ́dún. Compared to ẹni tán bá wí.
Who says who? Never Super Cup ta ló ní.
Super Cup ti ẹ lójú ti gan ẹ mọ wàhálà ara Madrid
cup na some people no even see cup drink water. Man you collect cup yesterday now. Man you collect cup yesterday now.
lójú ti ẹ gba cup lọ Australia àbí Malaysia
Hong Kong.
Bóyá kì í ṣe fi.
Okay, the match between PSG and Inter Milan tonight 8 p.m. ID.
Ayò yẹn yóò le o.
Friendly match
yóò le. Ṣẹ́rí àkọ́kọ́ náà tá a bá wò ó níbi tí oníkálukú wọn ti ń bọ̀. Àwọn méjì jọ ṣiṣẹ́ débẹ̀ yẹn ni. Tẹ́ bá rí àwọn tí wọ́n pàdé lójú ọ̀nà.
Wọ́n ṣe pretender.
Wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́.
Contender.
Kì í ṣe pé bóyá torí pé kì í ṣe ìdíje tó yẹ pé lọ́ọ̀kì ló fi débẹ̀ náà ó ṣiṣẹ́ débẹ̀ ni. Ṣé kò tá bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Carabao FA ni bóyá àwọn League 1 League 2 ni wọ́n kó wá lónà no. Àwọn tí wọ́n jọ figagbága àwọn tí wọ́n jọ dáa tán wọ́n fi ń pè ní big boys league àwọn àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ ló ń gbà torí àwọn tó já àtàwọn tó dé ìpele àṣekágbá àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ ní gbogbo wọn ṣùgbọ́n àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ ju àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ lọ àwọn àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ tó tóbi jù ni ó wà ní ìpele àṣekágbá ṣùgbọ́n àwọn kan sọ wípé nígbà tí Barca àti Inter Milan play pé ó rà pé bóyá ti wo final ṣùgbọ́n èmi fẹ́ sọ wọn pé final before final alẹ́ ìyá tún le ju Barca Inter tí àwọn èèyàn ò bóyá pé àwọn ẹni ló yẹ kó wọ final tí wọ́n ti gbà ní ìtí wọ́n gbá tí ó tó di final yìí. Tá bá wo àwọn méjèèjì yìí àkọ́kọ́, tá bá wo PSG ní orílẹ̀-èdè France tó ti ń bọ̀, àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀dí níbẹ̀ bí ipò òun ló ń ṣíwájú táwọn tó kù ń rọ́ tẹ̀lé ni, apẹ̀rẹ̀ ló ń kó dání tó fi ń kó gbogbo wọn sínú ẹ̀. Tá bá wo Inter Milan náà níbi tó náà ti ń bọ̀ ní orílẹ̀-èdè Italo, àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ lòun náà láìpẹ́ òun ló gba líìgì yẹn.
No,
ní ìtò lọ́lọ́
ní ìtò lọ
Scudetto Napoli ló gbélé ìtò lọ́lọ́ òun ló gba àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ lòun náà. Tá bá sì tún wò ó bí àwọn náà ṣe débẹ̀ òun jọ ṣiṣẹ́ ni. Lóòótọ́ bóyá Inter Milan ti dé àwọn final kan tó ń wo ife lọ́ọ̀kan báyìí tó pàdánù tó kan eléyìí, ó sọ Siriano, ó sọ ìtíyèsí Milan náà
Coppa
Italia, ó sọ ẹ̀ náà nù. Tá bá sì wo PSG lélẹ́yìn sí àwọn lélẹ́yìn ṣàṣà ní ife tí wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbà tán ní orílẹ̀-èdè France tí wọ́n ti ń bọ̀.
wọ́n ti wulẹ̀ one treble.
wọ́n ti wà ní treble and then Luis Enrique sọ̀rọ̀ kan gbà tó já Arsenal tán pé wọ́n ń pe àwọn ní Farmers League ló tún já Arsenal tó pé league tó pé òun ló dáa jù.
the most glamorous league.
òun ló dáa jù ní.
wọ́n fọkọ wọn rọlẹ̀ Arsenal.
wọ́n pé àwọn làwọn já àwọn yẹn kú o torí àwọn náà fẹ́ ṣe pé ohun tí òun sọ pé PSG pé France League 1 pé kì í ṣe Farmers League wọ́n tá bá wò ní alẹ́ yìí igun méjèèjì ló jọ dáa tá bá wò pé káwọ́ formation tí wọ́n play àwọn kan wọ́n gbéná léèyàn tán ìyẹn Luis Enrique experience yẹn wà láti Barcelona tó ti mọ̀ láti orílẹ̀-èdè Spain wá sí PSG tá bá sì wò nínú PSG lélẹ́yìí kò fẹ́ẹ̀ sí player kan tó jù kan lọ nínú wọn mọ́ torí pé àwọn Kylian Mbappe pé àwọn ní face of PSG wọ́n ti lọ sí Real Madrid tó nígbà tí Mbappe wà ń bẹ̀ kí ni ẹ̀ má dàbí pé all but to Kylian Mbappe nígbà tí ó sì Kylian Mbappe mọ́ àwọn player yẹn ti rí ara wọn pé nǹkan kan náà ni àwọn àparò kan ò ga ju ìkan lọ tá bá wò Ousmane Dembele tó fẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ fèsì wọn níbẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tí àwa tí Luis Enrique ò wò bí fèsì pé àwa tá à ń wo bọ́ọ̀lù àwọn pé òun ni fèsì wọn àti Kvaratskhelia tí wọ́n gbé ní January yìí iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ń ṣe níbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ribiribi ni èmi sì fẹ́ wò ó pé ní gbogbo kàríà Kylian Ousmane Dembele rẹ̀ pé season yìí ló fẹ́ gbà tí ó dára jù nínú kàríà ẹ̀ London Luis tí ò ní injury London Luis Enrique orí ẹ̀ pé ọpọlọ ẹ̀ compose láti lè play ball fún PSG jẹ́já tó wò ní ẹgbẹ́ méjèèjì wọ́n ní Mendes wọ́n ní Hakimi àwọn yẹn náà wọ́n gbìyànjú wọ́n sì ti láwọn àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ láàrin Viti àti
Fabian Ruiz àti
Joao Neves wọ́n ní wọn tá bá sì tún wo Inter Milan náà àwọn àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ arúgbó ni wọ́n kó jọ sí ọwọ́ àárín wọn yẹn tí tá bá ti ń rí Mkhitaryan tẹ̀yìn Katanoglu wọ́n tà kó wọn jọ síbẹ̀ àwọn náà ní experience tá bá sì tún wo ẹgbẹ́ wọn náà wọ́n ní Dumfries náà tó máa fi ń play tó pé 3-5-2 ló máa ń lò igun sígun ní ayò alẹ́ yìí ohun tẹ́mi kọ́ rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé tá bá wò Inter Milan máa rò pé opportunity kan tó tún kù fáwọn ní season lélẹ̀ láti fi gba ife ṣùgbọ́n PSG àwọn ti gba ife ní orílẹ̀-èdè France ara wọn ti sinlẹ̀ wọn ò sí ní under pressure kankan ní àṣálẹ́ yìí pressure kan tó kọ̀ wà ní pé àgbárí ẹ̀já lọ gbà á and atọ́kùn sọ kínní kan lẹ́yìn pé Allianz Arena tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbà pé ẹni tí ò bá gbárí tó bá lọ sí Allianz Arena ó máa ń gbà á níbẹ̀ òun tún lè máa fi yẹn fọkàn wálẹ̀ pé sòfà táwọn ò gbárí àwọn lọ sí Allianz àwọn fẹ́ lọ gbà á ṣùgbọ́n Inter Milan náà máa wò pé òun ti wọ final bí ọdún méjì sẹ́yìn against Manchester City tí Manchester City tó nà wọ́n wò pé bóyá òun náà tún wọ̀ ní ọdún yìí pé ó ṣeé ṣe kí òun náà kó gbà á ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo atótónu tèmi sọ látàárọ̀ ni pé ẹni tó bá ṣe àmúlò àǹfààní ẹ̀ dáadáa torí pé ayò alẹ́ yìí tactics olùkọ́ni ló gbọ́dọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àmọ́ experience tí olùkọ́ni méjèèjì tó ní ohun tí wọ́n ní lákàá láti lè mú nǹkan jáde nínú match alẹ́ yìí ṣùgbọ́n lọ́dọ̀ tèmi ti máa wò ó lọ́dọ̀ Luis Enrique ó fẹ́ ní experience yẹn dáadáa ju Simone Inzaghi lọ torí Simone Inzaghi lélẹ́yìí àgbà ọ̀jọ̀ ló kó jọ àǹdá igun ọmọdé ó ní bí wọ́n ṣe lè wó àgbàlagbà dáadáa tó ta bá wò bí Inter Milan ṣe na Barcelona àwọn ọmọ yẹn kéré gan àǹdá olùkọ́ni wọn náà ló tún fẹ́ ṣe àṣìṣe jù ṣùgbọ́n lọ́dọ̀ Luis Enrique mi fẹ́ bóyá òun tún fẹ́ lè ṣàṣìṣe ìtí asifik ṣe against Inter Milan wọ́n ní àṣálẹ́ yìí ẹni tó bá ṣe àmúlò àǹfààní ẹ̀ dáadáa òní yóò gbà fi.
Okay, Sporting Rem. Wait, he gets there's like a major hold. Two things here. Do you think Inter Milan is pressured? Firstly, why I'm saying they are pressured is their coach Simone Inzaghi.
Second time.
second time in the final.
Yeah.
And according to news coming out, Al Hilal is pressing for him to be the next coach of Al Hilal
At the wrong time.
at the wrong time.
So he could go to FIFA Club World
so
Cup.
he could go to FIFA Club World Cup with them. So look at that pressure.
Is Inter not going to FIFA Club?
Inter is not going.
Yeah, I think they are.
Inter is going,
yes, they
but
are
look
going.
at the pressure. It's almost like it's a done deal.
Distraction.
Like it's almost like a done deal according to reports. But we know, there will be rumors and everything. But do you think they are pressured? They have lost the league. They have lost finals. They have lost most of their
Even domestic cups.
domestic cups. They have lost it, and now they are in a Champions League final. Their coach is pressured with another job, and all these circumstances.
More reason I said at the wrong time.
Mm.
It's an understatement that is Inter Milan under pressure or not. Definitely 100% they are under pressure. And in terms of personality, yes, they are. In terms of experience, yes, they are. In terms of achievement for this season, yes, they are. So a lot of pressure. It's really, really roaming a lot on their head. But when you are talking about the field of play in Allianz Arena tonight, all swingu is not being dingo to Inter Milan's favor. It all favors PSG in terms of expectation, in terms of technical ability from the coaching crew. With reference to ID, it favors Luis Enrique. But when you are talking about likes for like, I would like us to dwell much on that. Dumfries against Hakimi.
Ashraf Hakimi.
Wow. Dumfries is going to struggle a lot
Against Nuno Mendes.
It should be against because Lisandro is a right
He's a right
wing back.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a right
yeah,
wing back,
yeah,
so he'll be
yeah,
playing
yeah,
against the left
against
full back.
Nuno Mendes.
Yeah, Nuno Mendes.
But Hakimi against
Dimarco
or Chanenego.
Augusto. No, it should be.
Chanenego used to drive towards
No,
that.
but Chanenego is more of a central attacking midfield.
But at times, if they are attacking,
That is when they are under pressure.
more reason I said more pressure on them.
More
Exactly.
pressure. If we're talking about the midfield battle, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and João Neves.
Vitinha-
This season, they look like a very compact midfielder. There's no like the way they
They
play.
are not shaky.
They are not shaky.
More
And it's not about. That was why I actually said, even if Thomas Partey played the first leg in Emirates,
As they will have still.
they could have lost because it was not more of Vitinha is not physical, Neves is not physical, Fabian Ruiz is not physical.
more reason I said technically, I'll give it to Luis Enrique's side. But when you're talking about the physical aspect of the game, we all know Italian team. They are more
physical.
more physical.
Do you another thing, okay? For my own side, I've watched PSG this season. They look like a team that they finished the game the first 30-35 minutes.
Sherry, you know.
They finished the game first 30 to first 35 minutes.
Sure.
Once they don't get that first 30 to 35 minutes, it's always like, okay, let's go in for the break and we want to recharge.
Sherry, you know, kódà ní sáà Champions League tá a wà yìí wọ́n ti score bí 38 goals plus ìyẹn ní sáà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ goal tí wọ́n
They
score
score more in first half.
goal tí wọ́n score ní
But
first
not
half
to Inter Milan.
goal tí wọ́n score ní first half mi ò mọ̀ tí Inter Milan bọ̀ títí PS Paris Saint-Germain ni mo sọ ó ti pọ̀ jù bọ́ yẹn score ní second half mo fi pé nǹkan tẹ̀ sọ yẹn pé ó right àmọ́ káàdà má gbàgbọ́ wípé Luis Enrique gbọ́dọ̀ wà àtúnṣe sí tó yẹ pé Italian teams kẹfẹ́ gba 1000 minutes wọ́n wà ń bẹ̀ because àwọn players tí wọ́n fẹ́ lò àti irú style of football tí wọ́n gbá wọ́n lè gbá as much minutes as you want to go so mo fi kó máa difficult fún Luis Enrique but mo fi pé tactical aspect yẹn technical aspect yẹn ó máa jẹ́ kí Luis Enrique wà at an advantage ju kíná korúkọ ẹ̀ lọ ju
Simone Inzaghi
lọ ẹ jẹ́ ká wo game wọn ti Inter Milan against ti Barcelona yẹn ní semi final a rí i pé Barcelona wọ́n control midfield yẹn ẹ dẹ̀ jẹ́ ká wo midfield tí wọ́n fi control possession yẹn wọ́n ní Pedri wọ́n ní Frenkie de Jong wọ́n dẹ̀ tún bí Dani Olmo so ẹ fi pé mo fi pé same thing náà ló máa fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ lálẹ́ àmọ́ àwọn defence line ti Paris Saint-Germain wọn yìí sábà ṣe mistake ìyẹn tí Araujo ti Barca tí wọ́n ṣe torí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn mistakes tí Araujo tí ó ṣe yẹn ìtógọ̀ fún ṣé Marcus Thuram yẹn tí pé sẹ́bi tó fi padà score yẹn àwọn defenders Paris Saint-Germain wọn yìí sábà ṣe irú àṣìṣe báyìí kódà wọn ò tiẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kí ẹ débẹ̀ yẹn tó fi máa clear ball out so on counter Inter Milan wọ́n dá on counter ju ikọ̀ ti Paris Saint-Germain lọ so counter attack yẹn ó jẹ́ nǹkan tẹ́ kó máa difficult fún wọn lálẹ́ láti lè rí torí pé Paris Saint-Germain wọ́n máa ń keep possession torí pé
I wouldn't want to agree about that counter attack because if you look the way they play they have Kvaratskhelia that plays more like
wide.
They play wide and once they get the ball
mi ò ní PSG ló máa ń take counter I'm talking about Inter Milan.
I'm talking about PSG they are also good on the counter because once they get the ball
their counter is
more
quite different.
It's quite different from Inter Milan. And why I would say it's quite different is because once they get the ball, if Marquinhos gets the ball, he gives it to Vitinha. Vitinha is just okay, always like once he just gets the ball, there is a certain Hakimi Mendes busting forward.
That is where I'm going to that. Marking Vitinha will be an added advantage to Hakimi, Kvaratskhelia, and probably
Bakola or Due.
So in that aspect, Inter Milan needs to not put themselves in pressure against Vitinha. Vitinha is not the kind of footballer that make use of his agility or technical ability, but its own inner self-thought in order for him to release the ball without expectation of the opponent. In the sense that if you are expecting Vitinha to release the ball to Hakimi, he might decide that okay, I'll take it to Kvaratskhelia, and at the end of the day, it will be an advantage for Bakola or Dembele.
kíní kan tún ni ṣẹ́rí irú ayọ̀lé yìí àkọ́kọ́ náà olùkọ́ni Simone Inzaghi ẹ sì mọ̀ pé 3-5-2 ló máa ń play márùn-ún ní láàrin àwájọ mẹ́ta tẹ̀yìn wọ́n á jẹ́ mẹ́jọ wọ́n máa sókè pressure.
Bó ṣe ń gbà nìyẹn they are more open defensively.
ó máa fẹ́ àtà ajẹ́ méje ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́bá wà lẹ́sìn PSG àwọn máa attack èèyàn tán ni wọ́n ní jẹ́ kó o sinmi wọ́n mọ̀ gbé san léèyàn nísìnyí báyìí tí Inter Milan bá sá wá sọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yìn kí wọ́n show pressure wọ́n á máa make yìí pé Dumfries ó ra sún sọ́wọ́ iwájú díẹ̀ wọ́n á kàn ti mú tó bá ti ta wáyà ẹ̀ fàyà tó bá fi lè mú tí PSG gọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan.
ibi tí kìíní ọ̀tí ni possible ni pé PSG is not the kind of team that play direct football. Yes. They like to spread the ball through the field and probably from their midfield and
also they have an advantage of 1v1. Exactly. Once they have wingers that can take you 1v1.
Exactly. More reason I keep referring to Hakimi seriously. Hakimi will be a threat to Inter defense.
Let's not forget Hakimi has played for Inter Milan.
Exactly.
And he won the league under Antonio Conte.
Not even
under Antonio Conte.
Probably he has an experience of
Italian football.
And at the same time a personal experience of Simone as well.
Yes,
because Simone take him through probably a month before he moved to PSG. So to me, it's a lot of pressure to Inter Milan.
Okay, let's talk about the two goalkeepers. Jan Sommer and Donnarumma.
One is known, one is not known.
Lápò tèmi ṣẹ́rí ní SARS Champions League tower kò sẹ́ni tí ó ti ṣe dáadáa náà àwọn méjèèjì torí Jan Sommer ó ti come up láwọn games tẹ̀kẹ́ mi expect láti lè show up. Donnarumma náà dẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká wo Donnarumma ṣé against Liverpool ní ká sọ ni ṣé against Arsenal ní ká sọ ṣé against Aston Villa ní ká sọ ni ẹ jẹ́ ká wo goalkeeper méjèèjì mo gbé fún wọn pé àwọn méjì wọn máa ṣe dáadáa ní alẹ́ àmọ́ mo rí pé tá máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pé individual ẹni tó ṣe kó ṣe dáadáa jù ní Jan Sommer torí pé Jan Sommer tamá sọ pé goalkeeper tẹ short stopper gidi òní Jan Sommer jẹ so ó dẹ̀ ti wà familiar sí irú àwọn football báyẹn mo rí kó máa tún wá difficult fún àwọn defence line mo fi kó máa wà more opened sí short lálẹ́ torí defence line mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ti Inter Milan yẹn wọn ò sábà lọ bá àwọn wingers kìíní ẹ àwọn mẹ́ta náà máa ń lò lẹ́yìn so kò ní sí pé tí máa kó lọ máa dúró ti Kvaratskhelia tó yẹ kó máa play as wing back so opportunity ẹ máa wà fún Kvaratskhelia tó bá jẹ́ Bakola nọfẹlẹ nàbí dúró opportunity ẹ máa wà and again PSG wọ́n play pẹ̀lú striker lọ wọn ní natural striker unlike Inter Milan so pressure ẹ máa pọ̀ fún àwọn full back Inter Milan torí pé Dembele ó lè kúrò ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí first nine ẹ kó máa lọ sí left wing ó lè kúrò mẹ́tẹ́ kó máa lọ sí right wing ó tún wá jẹ́ brad ẹ pé ẹsẹ̀ méjèèjì òun ló máa ń pa ẹ̀ dáadáa ó yàtọ̀ sáwọn kan ṣé ní tí mo sọ yé yín báyìí àwọn mo forúkọ bu Garnacho láṣìírí àwọn so àwa kúrò ń bẹ̀ ẹ́ sí.
Sàkà lórí ìlú méjèèjì.
Sàkà o
ó lẹsẹ̀ méjèèjì.
ṣé ó dún against
ṣé Sàkà play Champions League lọ́sẹ̀
kò play.
so mo á lọ sí mo fi ìpè lálẹ́ Jan Sommer máa fẹ́ show the number mo fi with lálẹ́ PSG all the way.
But another place I actually just want to talk about, if PSG eventually lose the match, is he? I don't know. Like
The project is not yet complete.
The project is not yet complete.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like if they lose today, doesn't mean-
Al-Khelafi, we see it as we continue.
Like a
But-
progress.
But it's a progress.
Remember they lost the final in
different-
2020.
Quite different from the pattern of 2020.
Of course. Under
The
Thomas
school
Tuchel.
of thought of their
Thomas Tuchel.
is quite different. Luis Enrique's school of thought is quite different from that of Thomas Tuchel. And at the same
Remember,
time,
the
the available personnel now
are
quite
different.
from each
Remember
other.
this same Champions League final that Thomas Tuchel played happened to be the fallout between Al-Khelafi and Thomas Tuchel.
Al-Khelafi then was not a football idol then. It's all about achievements, profit. But now he has gained that much experience.
I think I wouldn't want to agree because looking at the profile of Thomas Tuchel back then, it was when he got to Chelsea and he established himself. Fine, he may have been established a little because he was at Borussia Dortmund. He came to Paris Saint-Germain. He got to the final. Then he enticed Chelsea because for a coach like that from Borussia Dortmund to get to Paris Saint-Germain and also get to the final against Bayern Munich, he lost just by a long goal. So I think that was what enticed Chelsea. But when he got to Chelsea, it showed that he's now a big manager. I think if he were to be the current head coach of Paris Saint-Germain, the profile, what's it called? The way Al-Khelafi used to speak to him, then it should have been different because he's now more established. He won the Super Cup with Chelsea. He won the Champions League. I think he also won one other cup. I think.
I won't agree with that.
Club World Cup.
I'm
Club World Cup.
And I think Club World Cup too. But looking at Luis Enrique, he's established already. He won the treble. No, when Motion Box Sports, he won the treble with Barcelona. If he should win, he has won domestic treble this season. If he should win the Champions League, that means he will be the first manager to win two trebles with two different clubs. So I think the way Al-Khelafi is going to treat Luis Enrique, it will be more respectful than how he treated Thomas Tuchel because of the profile of Thomas Tuchel. And not forgetting the fact that Luis Enrique is also quite stubborn.
Don't go too far.
Okay.
Treatment of Ancelotti and that of Tuchel, compare it in PSG.
In Paris Saint-Germain?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Thomas Tuchel, Carlo Ancelotti, they are two different breeds. Before Carlo Ancelotti went to with Paris Saint-Germain, he has gone to Italian Serie A. Am I right?
Yeah.
He won from Bayern, from German.
Exactly. He has won the league. He has conquered German Bundesliga.
Okay.
He went to Paris Saint-Germain. He went to Italian Serie A. He has also won the league.
Okay.
So that kind of manager, he was established already.
Okay.
But looking at back then, no, Carlo Ancelotti is not someone that always is. Is not expressive enough because during his old time at Real Madrid, there's a difference between being called a manager and also a head coach. Throughout his time at Real Madrid.
Real Madrid will never call you a manager.
Exactly. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, they call you head coach.
They call you head coach. Why? Because it is different because of the president, because of the kind of president Florentino Perez is. So I think it was like I can say it was like similar to each other. So that is why Ancelotti could not really flourish like that
in PSG.
Yeah, at play fine. It was.
What's the difference between Real Madrid calling their manager head coach and Bayern calling their manager or head coach? What's the difference between the two institutions?
There's a limit to how head coach to how head coach can control the team. A manager, okay, for example, now Pep Guardiola of Manchester City now, he has power over the transfer, about the transfer, about the players that wants to come in.
Okay.
But for what's it called? Carlo Ancelotti as Real Madrid has been with being the head coach. It is different. Okay, you can't say I want this player. Majority of the players that was signed for Carlo Ancelotti,
just for you to coach them.
It is just for you. They bring in players and they tactically, technically, you have to do your job. We don't care whether this player suits your style of play. Fine, that's why they have
Real Madrid.
That's
How about in Bayern Munich?
In Bayern Munich,
I have where I'm driving to.
Okay. Just take me there directly. So
is it that you sign player or they sign player for you in Bayern Munich?
Was he the head coach or was he the manager then?
Head coach and
Let's leave the issue of manager and head coach.
Exactly.
Bayern,
was he the head coach or
in Bayern? Is it that they sign for you or you sign for yourself?
Bayern that will sign the
Bayern will sign for you now.
Bayern will sign for you. Same situation with Real Madrid and Bayern. And this is a coach that moved from Real Madrid to Bayern Munich, back to PSG. Now you are not telling me Al-Khelafi that doesn't have much experience told Boli what he is doing now. That is what Kalafi was doing in PSG then.
Okay, sorry.
That doesn't allow Chukwu. Now Kalafi, I'm saying Kalafi now, he is now groomed in the world of football. Look at
the signings.
Look at the signings. Look at what happened to Tottenham this season. Sure. We expect Daniel Levy to lay off Angie, but he doesn't, because he has done that with Mourinho a day to the final.
Yes,
and it backfire.
Yes.
A same situation with Angie, but he decided to
put his hand in his pocket.
Put his hand in his pocket because he has experienced that he has done it and it fails woefully. So don't see it as if Chukwu wasn't experienced. No, because Kalafi then wasn't experienced. But now what he don't see, what he will definitely not lay off Luis Enrique anyhow.
Who are you following? Who are you following?
Definitely I'm following PSG.
PSG. Èmi orí fẹ́ǹsì lèmi jókòó sí.
Ẹ padà jábọ̀ torí ìgbà tí wọ́n padà gbà bàjẹ́ tán sẹ́gbẹ́ níbo ni padà wọ́n iná méjèèjì ẹ máa jábọ̀.
Ìyẹn kan máa gbà fi lọ.
Ó di dandan kéèyàn kan wọ́n ìlàlẹ̀.
So possible ja.
History and all situation
is
tending towards PSG.
It's tending towards PSG. Okay, well PSG.
You said Ricky all the way.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. We'll see what's going to happen in the Champions League final. Let's go into the transfer news. It's no more news. Jeremy Frimpong announced by Liverpool as a new player. Also, Trent Alexander-Arnold announced by Real Madrid
from Liverpool. Who does something?
Wait. Una pay 10 million.
Then stingy.
That 10 million is not meant for Liverpool.
It's for who?
And part of it is going to Arnold, and part of it is going to
cover his salary.
And exactly. Okay. So Madrid is paying Liverpool for Liverpool to pay Arnold.
For Liverpool to pay Arnold.
Madrid pay money.
No salary, no sign-on fee.
No sign-on fee, just salary.
Just salary.
Okay. 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 One Jeremy Frimpong is joining your club.
Tebaranti bí àti mo sọ pé tí Arnold tó bá lọ mo fi àwọn bíi mẹ́ta àwọn mẹ́rin kan sílẹ̀ pé bọ̀ àwọn méjì tàkọ́kọ́ tó mo sọ ní pé Pedro Porro àbí Jeremy Frimpong ìkan náà àwọn méjì máa sóòtù pattern tí Liverpool torí wọ́n kò àwọn méjì player on transition they are very very good so mo fi pé Jeremy Frimpong ó máa lè ṣiṣẹ́ tí Liverpool fẹ́ ṣe àmọ́ ìpalára ló máa jẹ́ fún young player àtẹ́kùn ti ṣe dáadáa a máa ń sọ nípa bọ̀bọ̀ Conor Bradley bọ̀bọ̀ ti improve gan so ó máa jẹ́ ìpalára fún growth àti development torí arákùnrin tẹ́pọ̀ àti ní potential
àwọn àgbà ẹ̀fì àti kálẹ̀
ṣé ìtọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ sọ pé òun fẹ́ gbá nìyẹn ẹni tí ó gbá nìyẹn torí pé ti lọ gbé tó dáa jù lọ wá so mo fi pé ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ayé gan àti àwọn tó kúrò football àwọn kan máa dé jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa fẹ́ affect growth àti development so bóyá máa kúrò ní environment yẹn kí growth àti so ó máa lè tètè fast.
I don't see that happening.
Where?
Bradley leaving Liverpool I don't see it happening.
Mo fi ko ó máa di tó wá fẹ́ lọ gan bí àwọn bíi championship òun ló tó máa lọ gba bọ́ọ̀lù player jẹ́ pé ó ti tẹ̀sí Premier League rí tẹ́ pé àwọn players kọ̀ọ̀kan tó wà ní Man U wọ́n lè má tẹ̀sí ẹ̀ mo forúkọ Bruno Fernandes láṣìírí so mi ò wá lọ síbẹ̀ àkàwé ní àkàwé mo fi sọ̀rọ̀ pé ẹni tó ti gba Premier League káni kó lọ sí championship ẹnìkan sì wọ́n ti ń fowó lọ láti Al-Hilal fún ikọ̀ àti Manchester United tí ń play.
Go reach there, calm down.
ẹ má bí mo kàn fi ta sí Manchester United.
Okay, we'll go inside them. Another news. It's no more news again that Chelsea, they have made their transfer request, and Chelsea and also Ipswich, they have exchanged documents. Medical booked for Monday for Liam Delap to Chelsea. Formality.
Done, dusted.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Like,
what do you feel? Where is the signing? Liam Delap to Chelsea.
Liam Delap to Chelsea, as I said yesterday, it's okay by me. Well thought, well proposed signing, in the sense that we might see it as if he is not up to that of the level of Nicolas Jackson. Definitely, Nicolas Jackson is not up to that of the level of Mohamed Salah. So there is one comparison situation between the two. Just that Ipswich, the environment Delap is coming from is more. It's very very low to that of the environment of Chelsea. Definitely, I expect him to perform more than what he did in Ipswich.
Wait, ID. before you go where I'm going, most Chelsea fans, they have been talking about, oh, you didn't get Osimhen, you didn't get this, you didn't get Osimhen. Osimhen yesterday crowned they collected the cup in Galatasaray yesterday. 26 league goals, 37 goals in total for the season. For Osimhen, what's going to be a way forward for him? Let's just talk about him a little bit. ID.
Ntẹ́mi kọ́ rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ Osimhen ni pé ó ti ń fojú hàn pé àwọn big club yẹn ò fẹ́ wá fún Osimhen nítorí wages tó ló fẹ́ máa gbà kò fẹ́ kọ̀ tó owó yẹn sílẹ̀ and then Saudi ní option tó tún lè lọ ṣùgbọ́n fún Osimhen ọdún ẹni kún wà tó bá yóò mọ̀ tí ò bá yóò kò mọ̀ ó mọ̀ tún náà torí pé tá bá wò pé Chelsea Delap Arsenal Ekitike on Sesco
ìwà limited náwó sí ṣé mi.
Liverpool
Ekitike
Liverpool on mention ẹ̀ and then kò fẹ́ dúró sí padà sí Italo Juventus ní orílẹ̀-èdè Spain kò sẹ́ni tó lack striker nínú wọn Manchester United ó nílò striker bó ṣe Osimhen ṣé ó máa fẹ́ play domestic league nìkan láìsí UEFA láìsí kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ ọdún ẹ̀ ló wà báyọ̀ máa wá kọ́ ti owó yẹn láti jẹ́ kí àwọn yẹn wá or kó máa lọ sí Saudi.
Okay, there was actually a theory that I actually came up with. If you look at Osimhen, this year's AFCON is going to be another huge challenge for any club. AFCON is going to be December, January.
You said it on Wednesday.
Yes, AFCON is going to be December, January.
And it can't be Jackson and Osimhen going.
And if Chelsea signs Osimhen, you now leave Jackson and Osimhen to go for AFCON. Nkunku is going. Like, look at it. Nkunku is going. Look at it. Even if any team signs Osimhen, any big team signs Osimhen, would they want to release him for AFCON? December, January is a peak period, especially in the English Premier League. That we are playing games back to back, and again, we are already having Champions League in December. January said we're having Champions League, and you want to sign a player like that from Africa, would you want to invest your money into it? That one is one. Okay. Then the second one, talking about the salary package, I don't think the salary is really a problem, except there's just going to be, why would you be like, there's an African player theory that's coming up that why would be an African player be saying you cannot cut your money, you cannot do that, you cannot do this. I feel like that one is another side. Yes, the way they see us, that one is another. And if you look at the media charge against him is like he has character issues, he does this, he does that, especially with that Finidi saga. These old things surrounding, don't you think it's going to be, especially the AFCON, December, January, if you can't sign that kind of player and he has been scoring goals for you, you now leave him to go to Nigeria to go and play AFCON.
Ohun tẹ́mi kọ́ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ń bọ̀ mo fún wa tó ọmọ díẹ̀ lẹ́nu pé.
ẹyọ ọmọ kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀ owó díẹ̀ ẹyọ ọmọ kúrò.
owó díẹ̀ lẹ́nu fọ̀ náà ṣe rí nǹkan tí Táyọ̀ lásìlẹ̀ tó tọ́ ni tábà wo January December yẹn ó le gan láti sign African player láti fi sílẹ̀ kó lọ tábà wo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Onana ní Manchester United tó sọ fún Cameroon pé òun máa fò wá láti wá gbá match bóyá yóò gba match lọ́la olówó fòde lẹ́ni kò fẹ́ fi Manchester United sílẹ̀ ó fẹ́ play ó sì fẹ́ wá play ó sì fò wá ó sì fò lọ náà bóyá rírẹ̀ náà ló lè fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ pé ọjọ́ match wọn lèmi náà ń bọ̀ nílé o tí bá ti gbá tán máa padà o ká tún fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà ká fi wá. Number 2 injuries worries Osimhen náà Osimhen máa ń ní injury record ẹ̀ náà le tó irú Osimhen irú ara tó máa fi ń play ball ó máa ti gbogbo ara bọ̀ ni kò sí bí ó sì ní injury tábà wò ó sì báyìí ibi tó fẹ́ rọrùn fún láti wá ilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ni wọ́n ti mọ Osimhen wọ́n ti mọ ohun tó lè ṣe.
Which club in Premier League?
Kò sí ilẹ̀.
Everybody needs striker now. Who doesn't need a striker?
Even Chelsea tó gbé Delap wí gan wọ́n sì tún nílò striker torí pé ìdí ni wípé Chelsea wọ́n lè fẹ́ gbé pressure tó pọ̀ jù lórí Delap kọ́ bá pé Ipswich ló ti ń bọ̀ pé kó wá máa fáwọn ní kinní kan goals ṣe wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbọ́n lọ́mọ sí pé
12 to 18.
wọ́n ní mọ̀ pé kò lè ṣe ju agbára ẹ̀ lọ torí ẹ̀ wọ́n sì tún nílò bóyá bí Osimhen náà tó máa jẹ́ pé tí Osimhen bá ń play tí Osimhen bá tẹ̀ lọ AFCON Delap náà wọ́n lè jọ máa ṣe.
nothing like AFCON ọpẹ.
ṣẹ́ẹ̀dì number 1 nípa pé African pé nípa AFCON yìí mo fi kó máa difficult fún Osimhen láti lọ play torí mo fi pé Chelsea kan fi Liam Delap yẹn ṣe bí decoy ni mo fi kún ṣe máa ra another top striker wọ́n kàn fi yẹn pé láti ọkọ̀ fi east pressure torí pé pressure ti pọ̀ jù lórí Chelsea pé ní striker ẹ̀wọ̀ àtàmọ́tà sí yín sí gbogbo àtàlẹ́ ló ti ń tà sí yẹn nígbà ike àwọn Arsenal tí wọ́n agbọ́wọ́ àwọn náà fẹ́ máa lò fún striker so wọ́n lè máa convert Odegaard náà wọ́n náà lè padà di striker. No, Merino central midfield wọ́n sọ di striker wọ́n ti pẹ́ lọ gbé medicine
ìyẹn
náà ti lè padà sún but Manchester United ẹ ti fẹ́ gbé Matheus Cunha
wọ́n ti gé
Arsenal is fine highest goal scorer NPFL.
tọ́mọdé sáyẹnsì wọ́n lè máa lò sí.
Anas Yusuf.
Yes now.
mo tọrú rúfẹ́ àbáyé fún ọmọ ọlọ́mọ torí ọmọ yẹn náà ti gbìyànjú ní àníyàn ní league
ó
máa lọ
Nigeria.
náà.
So but mo fi pé ó máa nira fún ẹ ní English club especially Chelsea láti lè gbé láti lè gbé Victor Osimhen ẹwẹ́n tó ń gbójú ní ikọ̀ ti Chelsea £250,000 ìwọ tó wá mọ̀ pé o ò lè gba £250,000 wulẹ̀ má wá sí Chelsea torí bàbá olówó ẹ̀sìn àwọn náà ti lajú wọ́n ti rí pé àwọn ti kúrò ní bí Manchester United kan máa fi 400 lọ àwọn players kọ̀ọ̀kan tẹ́ pé wọ́n á padà máa lò wọ́n lọ sí Aston Villa fine but Chelsea wọ́n sọ pé àwọn òjò máa no ṣé o ti wo tẹ kò sí rọ́bẹ̀ tí ó sì fẹ́ máa sanwó tó bá pọ̀ mọ́ fún ikọ̀ tí fún any player tó bá ẹ̀wúrọ̀ àwọn Chilwell ń sìn wọ́n lé Chilwell lọ sí Crystal Palace wọ́n san díẹ̀ nù wẹ̀ wọ́n lé Sterling lọ sí inú Arsenal wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n mówó díẹ̀ wọ́n san bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n gba Sancho àwọn àti Manchester United oníwọ́jọ́ san owó Sancho so ìwọ táwọn pé o ò fẹ́ gba £250 bó mo fi pé Victor James Osimhen pẹ̀lú ibi tó ti bá kàrẹ́ ó ti kọjá bí àtàwọn àgbà £250,000 èlé ni kó máa gbà bí i 400 plus ó ti tó fún Victor James Osimhen no ṣé Liverpool wọn sanwó fún yẹn àwọn Van Dijk ẹ̀mí tán gbà £250 àbí £300 number. We are just prudent in spending. Yẹ fún ikọ̀ ti Liverpool. Àmọ́ fún ikọ̀ ti Chelsea, ó máa difficult fún Osimhen láti lọ sí Chelsea torí owó ọ̀yà. So mo fi pé Chelsea out of it unless wọ́n máa talk out. Owó tó Osimhen náà ń béèrè fún náà owó Saudi ló ń béèrè fún. So
kó máa lọ Saudi gbà yẹn.
Ìsídà kókó tiẹ̀ wá sí ti àwọn European clubs àbí kó lọ sí Manchester United. Fine, Manchester United tó bá dé bẹ́ẹ̀ so.
I feel like for teams presently now, if you look at teams presently now, there's actually you look at the big teams now. The big teams actually, everybody's talking about building a new stadium.
Exactly.
And you know the reason why they are talking about building a new stadium? A new stadium is going to bring improve their revenue. And you will see most of the big teams, they are struggling to even be in the Champions League. Manchester United is not in the Champions League for 2 consecutive seasons. And they are going to pay Nike, Adidas, pay them 10 million
Adidas.
Because they are not in the Champions League. So now look at a team that is not in the Champions League and you want to pay 250. I don't think that is going to you want to pay 300, 400. It's not going to work because now the financial there's a financial constraint in football right now that you can't always pay that high wages at this particular time.
Back to Osimhen because we all this see round up to Osimhen. To me, is it guaranteed that even if Osimhen should go to Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Newcastle, even Arsenal, that guarantee for him is going to win the Champions League?
I don't think is Champions League football important.
Is it?
Champions League football is important, but Champions League winning is it important?
Is he not going to gain the Champions League experience in Galatasaray?
He will get the Champions. Wait, he will get the Champions League experience. But do you expect Galatasaray to pull off a good challenge, or do you expect Galatasaray to sign top players?
Definitely, they will sign top players. Is there no top players in Galatasaray?
Who do they want to sign? Lemina. You know how many teams Lemina?
Is there no
you know how many teams Lemina has played for? Ziyech has played for how many teams?
He's talking about top players. How many world-class players are in Galatasaray?
Okay.
Where I'm driving to is at the end of the day, sooner or later, probably in the next 4-5 seasons now, nobody is going to talk about Osimhen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where will the pension sustain him up to? Let this guy remain in Galatasaray. They are ready to pay more than what he's earning in Napoli.
Okay.
Nobody cares about trophy. Nobody cares about your chef.
Yeah.
But what you can give.
Yeah.
After you are done.
Okay, let's go into the transfer news and let's start from Arsenal. Arsenal have begun talks with RB Leipzig in an attempt to sign Benjamin Sesko for a release clause of over 80 million euros.
Hello, Church.
80 million euros for Sesko. Now, I don't know what's happening to these German teams. It's like they'll first wait for one person to say, well, waiting you validate. What do you value these players? Yes. Once you give your player value, the other team too is giving the player value. Look at Ekitike and Sesko. Almost like 80. One they say bring 100, bring 90, bring 80 for two players. Now, look at it. Frankfurt sold Mamouche for like 70 plus. They want to sell Ekitike in summer for another 80 plus. What's that business?
Between you and I, how much is the worth of Mamouche?
Mamouche is not meant to be more than 35 or 40.
35, 40. But Man City that bought Mamouche then, they are under what? Under duress.
Yes.
So who now? I think everybody knows that every team in England needs a striker.
Exactly.
One has Jackson, one has Nunes, and
Where,
one has
where is that natural striker?
now one has Jackson, one has
They are
Nunes.
lost in NPFL. Ewa Sadiq Ibrahim Mbebun
Okay, let's get serious.
Alimina one in Remo Stars.
Let's get serious.
I feel like it's now a trend for teams. I think Pep Guardiola, we are going to blame Pep Guardiola for this, for deceiving
Which I
us.
said yesterday.
For deceiving us that you can't play with a striker.
Thank God you are.
Now he has deceived us. Finish that there's no striker. He now looked at Haaland. He went to carry Haaland. Now everybody is now looking for striker.
And there is no more striker.
And there's no more striker.
We only have goal poacher.
We only have goal poacher.
Ṣé mo lè sọ nǹkan pé ẹni tó bá wo ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ games Liverpool ń sìn pé Liverpool played their attacking three with wingers.
Yes,
yes. Now Liverpool is not having any striker in their team.
No. Wọ́n ní àwọn tó ní wọn kan wọn ṣe striker.
Name them.
Dàwọn ní ṣe bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn mi ò fẹ́ máa bọ̀ sí.
We are still saying the same thing. These are goal poacher.
Ní tí mo sọ ni wípé ẹ wo Liverpool ń sìn ẹ̀bọ̀ yẹn play. Ìgbà tó yá tí Darwin Nunes tẹ́ pé tínà pé ọmọ orílẹ̀ Colombia Luis Diaz tẹ́ pé drop wọ́n gbé sórí ìjókòó ó jókòó dáadáa wọ́n dẹ̀ mú Diogo Jota wọ́n gbé wọlé wáyé pé Diogo Jota ó ní ìfarapa Darwin Nunes ó step in but Liverpool wọn ò play pé ẹ jẹ́ ká máa tó gbogbo ẹ̀dí striker gbogbo àti Firmino ṣe natural striker lọ títí ó èèyàn bí Jose Zexi tẹ́ pé ó máa play with the team ni ẹ wo Cody Gakpo ó play dáadáa fún Liverpool ní Saturday ṣé arákùnrin jẹ́ striker winger ni so èèyàn lè máa play pẹ̀lú winger mẹ́ta ní ọwọ́ wájú tí ó dẹ̀ sí problem so tí àwọn
problem wow
no ṣe rí tẹ bá ti ní irú Salah lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ jẹ́ pé àwọn olùmọ̀ àdìgbà
gbogbo tíìmù ló ní Salah
ẹ lọ wá tí yín náà ní
ìjọ wo ló tó fẹ́ rí.
so wait so what
ẹ̀wọ̀n ní Salah
tí Salah bá lọ náà ẹni máa wá Salah mi kì
kò kàn yín
ọpẹ èyí Tayo what I see in this is that thank God I'm not a student of Guardiola. Seriously, I'm
definitely
not.
No, let's say we are not.
I'm not. Okay, I don't know about you.
I am not
me too.
So
because his school of thought in terms of football
really change a whole lot of things.
It really affect, not change. Affect. It doesn't change anything. It
I wouldn't
affects.
say it affect because it didn't force it on you.
It takes the football
now
backward.
Now everything, even if you want to play a team in League One, they will put the ball on the ground for you and tell you that
it is not a must to put the ball on the ground.
I believe everybody is now saying
in fact, I won't lie to
reason why
you.
Mourinho is we keep being in relevancy.
I wouldn't like to tẹ wá ń gbá bọ́ọ̀lù lágbólé wa wọ́n máa ní pé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀lù sílẹ̀ ṣé dandan ká gbé bọ́ọ̀lù èmi láì kí n mọ lá bọ́ọ̀lù ẹja gbogbo ẹ̀rù
ibi tẹ lábọ̀dé náà lè fi pa eight.
Because a situation whereby all team are in need of striker now, normal striker, and you are only having goal poacher. At the end of the day, the goal poacher themselves,
they won't poach again.
They won't poach. By the time they get to your team, a situation whereby you only have a striker presently now in the person of Akares. That's the only striker. Alvarez.
I guess.
Alvarez. That's the only striker that we have now.
That was Thierry Henry said.
And Diego Simone is not managing the guy very, very well.
That's because Diego Simone too has moved away from his normal to also of play the ball.
I pray he far back to his normal
Okay,
situation.
let's go into Al Hilal, and this one has the news about Portuguese forward talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Remember, General Infantino talked about the possibility of Ronaldo joining a team in the Club World Cup,
because
and now
he wants to see him there.
No, it's marketing strategy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly, he's right. You want to see him because of marketing strategy.
And now, the camp of Ronaldo came out to say Infantino was not meant to say something like that. And I countered them by saying, if there was no discussion like that,
they would have come out.
He wouldn't have reacted. And now, Al-Nassr, his contract with Al-Nassr has ended. They are looking at it like, okay, sign for Al-Nassr. He said, sign better players, or I go. And
is there no better players with Al-Nassr?
Okay, you are talking about the last
without those Jabir.
Duran is a better player now.
Duran is a better player, but I feel now the problem is both. We all know Al Hilal, Al Ittihad, Al Nassr, Al anything, Al Hind,
and Domak.
Everything
and Domak
is owned by the government of the Saudi Arabia. So even if he goes to Al Hilal, they just want to market him that just go there, play Club World Cup, and we can see that the Club World Cup is building to be a pool of money for clubs, and everybody's trying to just get that face. And they're playing it in United States. So Ronaldo to Al Hilal, possibility
30%.
30%.
For the fact that face of a Club World Cup.
nítorí kí la fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ nítorí owó náà.
ilé ìtura lówó rẹ̀.
ohun tí mò ń sọ ni pé ohun tí wọ́n gbé sílẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ fi owó náà ni owó ètò lówó èèyàn máa ń wá owó sí náà ni wọ́n pé kó sáré sáìn kó fi lọ Club World Cup yẹn ayé ìṣeré ẹ̀ kó sáré sáìn kó sì lọ tí lọ gbá kí wọ́n gbowó kí wọ́n pa owó wọlé onísìnbáyìí sìn ká pé Messi bá tún lè lọ World Cup tó máa lọ World Cup mi sí Lionel Messi lọ́dún fẹ́ lọ sí torí pé fèsì yẹn wọ́n fẹ́ lò.
Even Inter Miami was not supposed to be in that tournament
because of Lionel Messi.
They only.
Definitely. Okay, let's go into the best player, the best one, the best of the best. Talking about Oguomo Anthony.
Èmi á máa pè ní Anthony Matheus Don Santos Pokoli. Èmi máa pè ní legendary player, one of the greatest players of all time.
Okay, officials of Real Betis have come and said they will meet with Manchester United in the next couple of weeks to discuss the loan of Anthony. But another news came out and said his boss, Eric Ten Hag, is looking to sign him for the third time to Bayern Leverkusen.
I believe maybe that will spin his head off.
That will spin his head off. To go to Leverkusen.
Yes.
Leverkusen.
But I'm seeing a situation whereby if the guy is okay, he should sit down with Manchester United, buy himself out of the contract, then sit down with Betis. Once again, this is what I want. Can you give me this? Rather than lulling him back to Betis.
Nǹkan tẹ̀mí rí bẹ̀ ni pé kó gbà kí Real Betis kí Bayer Leverkusen kó wá kí wọ́n rà kó Manchester United. Ìsìn ni pé Bayer Leverkusen yẹn wọ́n máa fọ́ tíìmù yẹn. Sábà Alonso ti lọ àwọn pílẹ̀yà kankan máa yọ.
Yeah, Jonathan Tah, Florian Wirtz.
Àwọn pílẹ̀yà kankan máa yọ ó máa easy fún un láti lè wọlé. So Bayer Leverkusen gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùkọ́ni ẹ̀ tó ti mọ̀ láti Ajax tẹ́lẹ̀ Manchester United kò lè play pattern yẹn. Betis ò ní owó lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n lè fi rà lónìí wọn máa sọ Man U sì fẹ́ lónìí ọ̀bẹ wọn fẹ́ tà á ni.
tí wàá bẹ ni kí Betis náà wọ́n ní kí Man U náà wà nínú ìṣòro ṣe ìyẹn dẹ̀ máa ń capitalize lórí vulnerability of position tí wọ́n fẹ́ bá yẹn jáde ṣe tí mo sọ yẹn wọ́n ti kí Manchester wọ́n ní ìdòwò so wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ kí wọ́n fẹ́ tà Anthony.
One reason I said he should sit down with Man U, buy himself out.
Exactly, so ó máa di kí ni.
ó máa kó wọn padà sí Man U.
òun náà ni kó buy ara ẹ̀ out.
ìṣe àbẹ̀ ni pé Anthony náà dẹ̀rẹ̀ a máa gbé yẹn ó sọ pé wẹ́dà nǹkan yẹn ló wà fẹ́ẹ̀ tó ní Manchester wẹ́dà Spain tó bá padà dé ó lè sọ pé òjò yẹn kè rọ̀ lásìkò aago méjì lẹ kó rọ̀ aago mẹ́ta ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rọ̀ so exactly tó bá padà lọ sí Germany a lè máa gbọ́ pé òun ráyè yìí bóun ṣe yí exactly pé Germany kankan báyẹn so ó lè difficult fáwọn tó bá lọ sí Bayer Leverkusen kó fẹ́ kan dó ní Betis tó bá di legend àtọ́rí olólùfẹ́ Betis tọkàntọkàn ní
Betis olówó lọ́wọ́ ni problem tó wà ní.
Betis no get money now.
olówó Man U fẹ́ ta ni Man U fẹ́ ta ni kó máa lọ wọ́n fẹ́ ta ni.
Okay, let's go into Manchester United. Ruben Amorim has said he's confident that Fernandes will stay at Manchester United and meets interest from Al Hilal. And reports are also coming out that it's going to be a very tense state if the owner, no, not owner, half owner, talking about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, if he sanctions the sale of Bruno Fernandes away from Manchester United.
What is going to be tense in that?
Who did you want to buy?
Kí wọ́n ta.
What is tense in it? Ayitayo.
Who is going to replace Fernandes?
The partial owner said, "Let me sell you. I have money." The coach is telling me you should not. Says who?
nǹkan tí ìdáyàn sọ wípé nǹkan pé ṣé máa lè rí player bíi Bruno Fernandes ṣé èèyàn mọ̀ pé èèyàn player bíi Bruno Fernandes wà kó lọ gbé so ẹ lè padà lọ sí irú àwọn mi ò fẹ́ dákọ̀ MPF nǹkan ìkọ́ ẹ̀ máa sọ pé mò ń dákọ̀ MPF àwọn players kan náà wà níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti gbé ẹ̀ Sporting Lisbon Sporting Lisbon tí wọ́n ti gbé
Benfica Porto
so ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn náà ẹ lọ sí Brazil ẹ lọ gbé wọn wá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ players ẹ kó dáa ju Bruno Fernandes náà lọ wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kó náà máa lọ sí kìíní.
September ó máa 31 kò sí èjì ní side ẹ̀ mọ́ kó máa lọ sáré kó lọ gba owó yẹn tó fẹ́ gba Champions League pẹ̀lú Manchester United ni.
ó lè gbọ́ FA kan ó lè possible tó bá ju 20 years.
All right, yeah, it's been an interesting one with Wales Weekend Total Sport, and we have talked about a whole lot of things, and right now there's no more time for us to actually to delve into so many news right now. Okay, so we'll be taking our bows. ID.
èèyàn wá ti gbé níbẹ̀ náà nìyẹn a tún pàdé ní ọjọ́ Saturday tó ń bọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wá máa lọ́jọ́ Monday ó dàbọ̀.
Okay, Sporting Rep.
Water is life.
What about?
Yeah, water is life.
Okay.
Let's keep our environment clean. This is Abdul Fatah ọmọ ABC.
Pẹ̀lú Arnold, kò sí wàhálà.
Arnold Bawo.
Ọpẹ́.
Yeah, as una don lis ten to us today, shall be well with you now and forever. My own name no change. Okpe, I mean the pikin of Odola. Go catch up later on Monday by 7:30 a.m. That will be on the AM side with Lizette and also Sam Adelere. I call him SAA. Bye for now.
All right, yeah, guys. We'll be coming back on Monday by 7:30 a.m. As you go out to watch your favorite team tonight, please just do that. Any team that win, accept. If your team win, accept. If your team lose, accept too, like that. And don't forget to watch the Super Eagles in the Unity Cup by 5 p.m. and also the UEFA Champions League tonight by 8 p.m. between Paris Saint-Germain and Inter Milan. My name is Eitayo.
FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Yomi on 0706 616 5053. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it. 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden me, and I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit with me.
I welcome you to this special interview program on your preferred radio for wholesome content, Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. My name is Yomi Davis. Pastor Femi Emmanuel is an engineer, a one-time deputy speaker, Oyo State House of Assembly, and a businessman turned preacher. He is the presiding pastor of Living Spring Chapel International, which has her national headquarters in Ibadan and international headquarters at Ikeja, Lagos. In this down-to-earth, one-on-one interview, Pastor Femi Emmanuel bared his mind like never before, delving into many aspects of life. It's a no-holds-barred interview of a sort. You surely will enjoy it. How, where, and when did it all start?
Everyone's background, we have a way of impacting and affecting his or her life. I came from a very humble background. My parents were peasants, were born in a village rural setting. That has affected me in a way. Number one, people still say Femi Emmanuel We thought when you went into politics and became the deputy speaker of the state, we thought when the ministry blossomed and you are heard, you are seen, you are known, it should be more difficult to see you. There should be a protocol around you, a little bit of the normal human pride. But there's none in you. I would say, well, that's my background. I say to people, I have no CV to be proud. I came from the lowliest of the lowliest. So if I am anything today, it's just by the grace of God. And you don't take the grace of God for granted. It's God. Minus God, Femi Emmanuel becomes zero. So that is an effect in a way. And it also helped me when I went into politics. Grassroots politicking. When you get to the grassroots politics, you find peasant, ordinary people. And they thought I would not be able to flow. And that's still one of the problems of this country. The educated people, the corporate people, find it difficult to come to the grassroots. They are on social media, so they are not on the ground. So I found it so easy because that's where I was coming from. So it has affected me in a way. And of course, my parents were loving, even though they were poor, and they were honest. So they taught us honesty. And they were also Christians. The Anglican, Orthodox Christian, but we took it serious. We pray in our house. So all these things have impacted on me in a way to become who I am today.
Which church did you attend till you established your own ministry? Tell us the story of how the ministry started.
Well, we grew up to be attending churches, like I said, African church. But in 1972, something happened. That's 47 years ago. I was invited to a church, First Square Gospel Church, at Agege, Lagos. I heard the gospel like I never heard it before. And I gave my life to Christ. What we Christians call being born again. Became regenerated, have the Spirit of God in me. And that church took us on. First Square Gospel Church is a doctrinal church. So we're taught in the fundamentals of the Bible, doctrines of Christ. And so that was where I was for 13 years, the first 13 years of my born again experience. And then something happened. Our pastor, then Reverend Dr. Paul Chinodu, left. And from that issue, a new church was born, the New Covenant Church. And by the grace of God, I was the arrowhead of that church, because at First Square Gospel Church, I had grown to become the head of all the workers, what we call the superintendent of the workers. And even nationally in that church, I had become the national crusade manager of First Square. I was young. I was just 17 years old when I gave my life to Christ. So that energy, that youthful exuberance and passion poured totally into church and into Christ. So I grew very rapidly. That was my background. So from there to New Covenant Church for the next eight years. So Reverend Dr. Paul Chinodu became my spiritual father. I followed him like a tail followed the dog. I knew nothing else other than church and him, evangelism and all that we do then. That was my background. And from there to the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship, which I will still talk about. It was in New Covenant Church that I was at the 8th year of it. And I have this passion for evangelism. I had not really loved soul winning. And that was what led to the radio thing, which we may still talk about later. But I have this nudging. The passion for soul winning was so strong. And I discovered with my pastor that, look, I have this passion to just be out there on the field. And I know that was not what New Covenant Church was to be. It's a church, soul winning, but in a church format. It was from there I had the nudging and the calling, but needed to seek his own approval. As my father, somebody I had grown with for 23 years of my life. I never thought I'd be a pastor. Just happy being in the church, serving, doing my business, contractor, selling my books. It was from there that I was on the crusade field at Ikire, because we go from city to city, village to village to do. I had a team. And I was just all by my effort, using my own resources and those who the country who love it and they make contribution. It was that Ikire crusade when we made altar call and people came out to give their lives, and the cooperating churches before the final day of the crusade, unknown to us, had met together to say, look, this is how evangelists will come, and they use us to start their own church. So they backed out. It was such a dagger in my heart to see souls surging forward, and there are no counselors, there are no churches to put them, and I was not ready for church. Just win souls, cooperating. Before the crusade, we would have gone to make arrangement with churches, hold meeting with them, refresh them, and everybody is cooperating. Their choir will come to sing, so I had no church. When that happened that night, something said to me, where there is no people, the vision perish. And where there is no vision, the people perish. And where there is no people, the vision will also die. So you need a people if this your crusading vision will succeed. That was where. So we then made a tactical withdrawal from crusading field to say, let's build a people. That was what the church. I wasn't ready for the church. But since the churches are not ready to cooperate, to harness the soul, there is this fear. People will always use you to start, and of course they made references to several other older churches. It was how Kumuyi came, and then this was how this one came, and so something said to me.
Was the crusade?
Yes.
Was it organized by the Covenant Church then?
No. No, just me.
Just you?
Yes, because I told my pastor, evangelism, nothing thrills me.
So you just went to
so I have a team.
Okay,
I was still in New Covenant Church. I had a team for crusading.
Did you have a name then for the ministry?
World Preachers Ministry. We call it World Preachers Ministry. You will remember. Okay. It was World Preachers Ministry. Okay. World. So we are going all over the world. And my pastor gave me permission. If so, we did it's your case. Because if you know Reverend Paul, this is also an evangelist at heart. That's what he did for years before. So I had a team. And then with that team, we will meet. Then we will identify a city, a rural, a village, a city, and then hold meetings with the pastors there through CAN and the rest of it, and the cooperating churches. We hold it together, we finance it. And all we are interested in, people get born again, and the cooperating churches, we do the follow-up and bring them to their churches. But there was no suspicion. And so that was what made us to withdraw from the crusading field and say, let's build a church first. And that was what gave birth to Living Spring Chapel International, December 18, 1993. The World Preachers Place is still there. No, it's still the mother. But Living Spring Chapel is the church arm. Even though you no longer hear World Preachers, because Living Spring had become so loud.
Lift your hands and give God praise in here. Come on, I need you here, everybody here. Lift up your voice. Somebody make a joyful noise unto the Lord. I can't hear you. Somebody scream. Are you ready to praise God right now? Are you ready to praise God right now? Let me hear you say yeah. Let me hear you say yeah. I can't hear you. Let me hear somebody scream. Now hear me say, it's not by might, it's not by power.
Living Spring started as a church, it's a chapel. It was the Word Preachers Ministry. I was the mother ministry, and the Living Spring Chapel come. You will see that we have the church arm, we have the media arm, we have the book arm. There is the turning point with Femi Emmanuel in book daily devotional that has been on for years. That has a life of its own. Turning Point on radio has a life of its own now on WhatsApp. So one thing gives back to the other, but it was the church arm that actually became the basket to harness. And we never knew the church would grow phenomenally. Initially, it was a struggle, but at a point when the prayer mountain and the Takuti Jesu, those kids came in, boom! He just exploded the whole thing to the glory of God. Hallelujah. So that was how the church came. I never wanted to be a pastor. In fact, when people call me pastor, I desist. I said, no, don't come at me, Brother Femi. Brother Femi, I don't want to be a pastor. Because that was not, because the idea of the pastor is there to take people's money and that was at the back of my mind. So I never wanted a title. Up to today, I'm still a pastor, Femi Emmanuel, not a bishop, not an archbishop. I have not taken a doctorate. I have more than 10 invitations to be given the honorary title. There is no entitlement in title. It is the substance, it is the impact. I have no quarrel with those who take titles. I love them. A lot of them are my friends. A lot of bishops are my sons in the Lord. I go to consecrate them. They are my sons in the Lord, but I'm okay. The pastor, Adelere is still a pastor till today. Adelere was still a pastor till today. So I'm okay because it is not really the title, but the impact and the effect and the people you are mentoring that is really the thing. So that was how the church came.
Right. You are a minister with a gift of oratory and deep knowledge of the scripture. Did you train in the art of speaking, or was it just a gift from God? Did you have tutelage under any minister?
I would say the grace of God, the gift of God. The grace of God, the gift of God. You see, what you are graced to do is superior to what you are trained to do. Thank God for training. But if you have a God-given gift and you now train, it becomes something else. I never went to school to learn the art of speaking, public speaking, oratory. It just came as a gift. But even when you have a gift, you've got to develop yourself. I say to people, the school of self-development is where we never graduate. You just keep on building on yourself, read books, these days of information. So a lot of things that God has helped me to do came out of self-development. And of course, I told you, the First Square Gospel Church, where I got born again, the first 13 years of my life was a doctrinal church. That church is a teaching church. You are taught the basic things of life, of the Bible, simple doctrines. So that in itself is educating. So you combine all this then with the grace of God, and of course, I was and I'm still a student of the Bible. I love to eat the word. I love to study the word, not just reading it. You want to chew it and meditate on it and ingrain it in your spirit. So it flows because it's in me. And every day I'm on the scripture. And of course, when you do a thing again and again, you become proficient. I tell people, I said, I become better with every message I deliver. For a 1 hour message, you could be on a study for 4 or 5 hours. And that is what one has done for years. So, when you told me you were coming to talk to me, I don't need to have the script. It has become part of one's life, because that is what one does every day. So, the oratory gift, people acknowledge it everywhere. There are 2 people who have written their PhD thesis on Turning Point with Femi Emmanuel. And they graduated, invited me, and I was honored. University of Ife. I can somebody, in fact, he said to me, when his professor, when he said he's writing on Turning Point with Femi Emmanuel, using the oratory power, creative word to affect humanity and retune people's way of life. He said, what are you going to get to write about that? But when they came interviewing me days upon days, In fact, he said his prophet. I said, so much is available in this to the glory of God. So the oratory power, I would say God's grace, then personal development. And
did you go through tutelage?
Oh yes, I went through, in first grade I went to the Bible college. There's live Bible college, 3 years that you have to go through. I go through that. There's several other colleges online, a lot of things to
Will you say that your road to stardom as a successful minister of God began in the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship International? Who led you to Christ, and how did you become a member of the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship?
Who led me to Christ? I was just standing in front of our house, a teenager, 17 years old. I left the village. I followed my cousin. I cried after my cousin. I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live in, because in our own family, like I told you, the peasant, the highest education anybody ever attained in my family was secondary modern school, modern 3 certificate. I came from a polygamous house. My mother was not the first wife, so those who came before me, that was the bar. So as soon as you finish your primary 6 living certificate, you enroll in the farm, begin to farm with my father. But I didn't want to. I wanted education. I saw how our distant cousins who lived in Lagos. I was born at Yanesiota, not far from Lagos. They would come in for Christmas holiday. They want to come to the village to do the. I saw how they dress, saw their way of life. Each time they are going back, I feel like I thought I followed these ones. And I finished primary 6, and I was asked to start farming like my other people. So I cried after one of our cousins, and I said, I'm going to follow them. After that Christmas that year, my father did not say no. That was what brought me to Adelere. And I got to Adelere. What will the primary 6? Next thing was to Ikeja Industrial Estate. We will go and queue up in front of Dunlop, in front of Nigerian Textiles Mill, casuals. These Chinese and Japanese there. And he said, casuals, we will. And one day they picked me and Tejin Textile Mill, and they trained me to be a weaver. That was how my story. And I tell people, they say, so I was standing in front of our house. I was in an afternoon shift. So when you're on afternoon shift, 2 to 6 in the morning hour. So a friend came to visit me, number 8 Isa Street, Ekotagege. We're just in front of the house talking, and the young man was passing. And then suddenly he stopped and came to us and said, can he talk to us? Can he pray with us? I was like, why not? Let's pray. So he interrupted our discussion. We're just gisting. And he prayed for us. And from that, he brought out tracts. Began to talk about the love of Jesus. Brother Sunday, I will never forget him.
Wow.
I don't know where he is anymore. So he gave me tract. He gave my friend one, and he prayed with us. We thought he was going to ask us for his street number or something. That's how I got to know. Proud that I go to church, but just going to church. We even sing in the choir in those days. But do you know that tract he gave us and the prayer he prayed with me never left me. I went to the factory that day, came back to find the tract on the table, and there was the stamp. Those were days when Christians do evangelism with tract from Edmonton, Canada. Those days, I saw the stamp of the church, First Christ Gospel Church. And he had invited us to come on Sunday. Sunday morning, somebody said to me, try this church. And see what happened there. I went. And I fell in love with the church. And I started going until I had a message, an altar call, and I gave my life to Christ. That was how I gave my life to Christ. And like I said, First Choir is a teaching church. I rolled me in the Sunday school, and we grew with those hard, undiluted doctrines of the church. Now, that was how I gave my life to Christ. And of course, one thing led to the other. I came to Ibadan, came under Paul Ginodo. It was Reverend Paul Ginodo that made me join Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship International. Those 4 young men came from Port Harcourt. It was from Port Harcourt that Full Gospel Businessmen came to the southwest of Nigeria. Some people got to know them in America, California, the Moshakarian, and they brought it to Port Harcourt, and they were looking for a way to spread them around. And they said somebody told them in Port Harcourt that when you get to Ibadan, the southwestern region, ask of one young man, Femi Emmanuel. I was known then because I was the interpreter. I interpreted for great men of God for crusade.
I remember
those days. Mention them. T.L. Osborne, Wayne Lewis, Rehab Bonke, anybody that is visiting Ibadan City. And it's an interdenominational crusade. PFN, they say there is this young man at Okebola, First Square Gospel Church. Femi Emmanuel, the man can interpret. So they will come for me. So that had thrown up my face. So they told them there's this young, passionate man. If you can get him to agree, and few other people, few other names they gave to them. So that Sunday they came to First Square Gospel Church, just 7-day Adventist Road, after service, and they identified me, introduced themselves to me, told me about full gospel for laymen. I was a layman for laymen, and they met in hotels. The moment I had hotel, my mind said, that cannot be for me. Because the teaching we received, nothing to do with hotel. Hotel was synonymous with immorality, where they go to drink and carry prostitutes. When they couldn't get through with me, they went to my pastor. Unknown to me, Reverend Jinadu was the full gospel businessman's chaplain in York, England. Wow. So he knew everything about full gospel. So when they told him, he laughed. He said, call him for me. And no, it has nothing to do with prostitution. It has nothing to do with drinking and all your local interpretation of hotel. So it is for laymen, businessmen. That's where it's neutral and comfortable for them to come. And we have great respect for our pastors in our days. When your pastor spoke, it's like God has spoken. Right. So if my pastor endorsed it, that's all. That was why we went. How I went that evening. And for the first day of that dinner fellowship, they made me the secretary of the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship. Tunde Jaibo, a lawyer, became the president. Alex and others have not even come in then. Bunari Deji hadn't come in then, just us. Dele Adeyemo, you know him. Yeah. So that was how we started. And of course, my usual passion, I threw it into it. And then we started meeting in Premier Hotel. Now, Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship added color to my life. It impacted me because for the first time, I came out of the church cocoon. That all we knew is Sunday school, soul winning, choir, and I came in contact with other people from other churches, some of them not even church people, ordinary businessmen and women, giving testimony, singing songs. And here was I, the secretary of them. I was also the praise worship leader. I became prominent again. So it opened my eyes to other things, apart from just my little church and the four corners of the church. So it liberated me. It brought me in contact. It brought me